by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
More fiber and laxatives, eh?
Who are you?
I'm future you.
Future me?
Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off at school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses. A public service message from the National Association of Boards of Pharmacy.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Have you ever heard of the Virginia Warm Line? The Mental Health America of Virginia Warm Line is a free, peer-run service that is there for us as we all try to make sense of things. It's nice to have a friendly voice help guide you, if even for a few minutes, to a safer space. The Warm Line is not for immediate crisis help, but rather for those trying to cope with the state of the world these days. And that's just about everyone, isn't it? More at mhav.org or call 1-866-400-6428. Si hablamos español.
How long did
Braves fans, stay hot. Game day coverage on W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV HD2 Richmond. Swing for the fences on 106.1 ESPN.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown with NFL news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. 49ers wideout Jawan Jennings wants a new contract by the start of training camp. If not, he'll ask for a trade. Jennings is under contract for $7.5 million this season, the last year of his deal. The Major League Baseball Home Run Derby tonight in Atlanta. It's at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV. The hottest team in the game right now, the Red Sox, who've won 10 straight for manager Alex Cora.
We still got a long ways to go. We're happy with the stretch. We're happy with the way we've been playing. Trevor and Rafaela have been amazing, playing good defense, pitching well. We have a good baseball team.
Alex Cora, ESPN's Shams Charania reports Cavaliers president Kobe Altman signs a contract extension that runs until 2030. Cleveland has the third best record in the NBA over the last 3 seasons. After her magical run to the Wimbledon final, American Amanda Anisimova moves up to number 7 in the world rankings, the first time she's been in the top 10.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Check this out, y'all. Audio level full volume. It's your time.
This is Border to Border with Matt Josephs.
He's super famous.
This guy's a fraud, a phony.
I respect women. I love women. I respect them so much that I completely stay away from them.
Matt, your manliness is overwhelming.
Sports. Audio level full volume. It's go time.
Here's Matt Josephs on Richmond's 106.1 ESPN.
Good afternoon, everybody. Border to Border, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs here on a Monday. Hopefully everybody had a tremendous weekend. Whether you were indoors, outdoors, watching sports, whatever. Welcome to the slowest week in the sports calendar. That is the week that we focus in on the Home Run Derby, the All-Star Game, and the ESPYs. Before baseball takes over once again on Friday. So even though it is the slow time, we still have a lot to get into as we get 1 week closer to the ACC Media Day down in Charlotte. That'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. Jack will be on from 8 till 10. I'll be on in the afternoons as well. We'll provide you wall-to-wall coverage of the ACC as we kind of unofficially kick off the college football season, the college football coverage, ramping everything up. So really looking forward to that. But before then, we have to go through, this week, where there's not much going on, although there is lots of tidbits. The master himself, the self-appointed genius of college football, Greg Sankey, spoke today. So we'll talk about that. He had some interesting things to say. It is his opportunity as the SEC begins the first of, I believe, 4 media days. 4, as if they really needed 4 media days. They've got him. So we'll update you on anything that is said. Also, one of the 4 people speaking today is Shane Beamer. So we'll see if he brought up anything about that first matchup coming up against the Virginia Tech Hokies. But today was the commissioner, the LSU head coach, that guy Brian Kelly, Shane Beamer, Lane Kiffin, and Clark Lee of Vanderbilt. They're like, yeah, you Vanderbilt, I guess you can speak too, I guess. We will allow it. So we'll get into what the commissioner said, of course, full of bravado, full of everything else that he could be. We'll talk about that. We will briefly discuss the Home Run Derby tonight. I mean, I'm not excited necessarily for the Home Run Derby, but we'll watch it. We'll listen to it here on 106.1 ESPN. We'll find a wager or two to make it more interesting. We'll talk about the field. And then, of course, the All-Star Game, which I've said many times, baseball's All-Star Game is my favorite All-Star Game. It is my favorite All-Star Game of all of them. And we'll talk about that. There's been some decisions that have been made. We'll get into that. There's always NFL news. And today we'll also get into, we've done a lot of quarterback lists, but I feel like this is the one that I have to have the least amount of arguments with, or at least I have to, because of who they interviewed. ESPN put up today the top 10 list of quarterbacks in the NFL based off of the survey they gave out to scouts, coaches, and league executives. So I may not necessarily agree with everything they say, but it's the list that I have the hardest time to argue with because it's actually people who are in sports. So we'll get into that as well. Phone number 327-0888. Phone number, text line 804 is the area code for the show. We always like to hear from you, whether it's about something that the topic is or something that's not necessarily topic related. We always look forward to hearing from you. Already got a text here. It says, why do I think the All-Star Game is the best for the MLB? Well, so here's part of the reason why. If you compare the 4 All-Star Games, okay, first off, I am a huge fan of the NBA All-Star Game. I think the NBA All-Star Game is what it is. I think the NBA All-Star Game is an exhibition, truly, in terms of basically allowing the best players to show off what they can do, whether it's slam dunks, whether it's three-pointers. There's not a lot of defense. We talk about this all the time. I go into the NBA All-Star Game with no expectations. I'm just sitting there for 2.5 hours and watching them show off. Now, last year, I didn't love some of the stuff they did. I didn't love how in the middle they honored TNT in the middle of it. I didn't love the 40-minute concert at halftime. I didn't love some of the other stuff that they did for it. But the actual NBA All-Star game itself, I think, is not bad. The NHL All-Star game, I think, is, once again, you go into it with reasonable expectations. You know that it's the best players in hockey shooting at goaltenders and basically skating back and forth. The key is you have to have no expectations. That's what the key is. If you go into every single sporting event, whether it's an exhibition or not, having this serious expectation that this is going to be the greatest game ever, and you have to sit there and just kind of relax, turn your brain off for 2 hours, 3 hours, and just enjoy the show. I mean, I'm not even going to touch on the Pro Bowl, although the Pro Bowl now has at least decided to change a little bit because it's a flag football contest and it's other fun little events from here to there. So, the NFL realized the Pro Bowl itself is ridiculous, and they decided to change it. And so when you compare those other three to the Major League Baseball All-Star game, you can't really go at it half speed. Can't really go into tomorrow night half speed. You have to try. You really do. Now, we've seen some pitchers throw right down the middle and basically just try and get out of the inning. We've seen some pitchers treat it like an exhibition, but for the most part, Paul Skeens tomorrow will throw his hardest for 1 inning. Tarek Skubal will throw his hardest for 1 inning, and then that's it. That's it. So, as long as you go into these things with no expectations, I never like the people who go into it and they're like, well, I expect this and I didn't get this. Well, that's your fault for expecting too much. So yes, that is why the Major League Baseball All-Star Game is my favorite. Now, of the auxiliary events, I mean, I think the 3-point contest is the best, but I think hockey has some fun ones. The speed skating, or whatever they call it, the fastest skater. I think that's fun. I think that some of the stuff, the tug of war, the kicker contest I used to enjoy because I used to have my guy Justin Tucker until, the stuff happened with him. I like the auxiliary stuff. Home Run Derby's not as high on my list, but I'll still watch tonight. Let's be honest. There's nothing else to watch tonight. There's literally nothing else to watch in the sports world tonight. Maybe there is some summer league, but as I'm seeing on the screen, Cooper Flagg is being shut down already for the rest of the summer league. They saw him for one game and they're like, yeah, I'm good. We don't need to do it anymore. He's good. 31 points. That's fine. So yeah, we'll watch tonight, the Home Run Derby. And look, I know some of you are like, can you give me a selection for tonight? I really can't. I really can't. The only thing I kind of usually like for the Home Run Derby is I usually like to back the hometown guy to move to the second round. Problem is it's Matt Olson. I don't love Matt Olson, but I think, with the crowd and everything, it's just such an underwhelming field. I get it. It's great. Cal Raleigh, he's leading the league in home runs. That's great. He's in it. And, James Wood, young guy, exciting, should have fun. Junior Caminero, another young guy, have fun. Jazz Chisholm makes everything look fun. But once again, much like the slam dunk contest, we're just kind of missing it. In theory, the Home Run Derby tonight should be Cal Raleigh, an Atlanta Brave, Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Schwarber. It should be the top home run hitters in the sport, not guys who are towards the middle and not guys who don't exactly bring people to the screen. But once again, nobody is motivated to play in the Home Run Derby. Nobody's really I really want to be in the Home Run Derby. That's just the way it is. Much like the superstars do not want to be in the slam dunk contest because they realize that it doesn't help them very much. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help LeBron to be in the slam dunk contest. If LeBron doesn't win the slam dunk contest, then he looks bad. Granted, anything he does looks bad, but if he doesn't win the slam dunk contest, it will look bad for him. So same thing. And look, some of these guys want rest. Shohei doesn't want to hit and swing a bat 100 times potentially tonight because if he wins the first round, then he's got to do it another bunch of times. And then if he wins another round, he's got to do it a bunch of more times. And Shohei's, trying to pitch some more and stuff like that. So I get it. Kyle Schwarber, they asked. He didn't want to do it. I get it. But it's just, then you're going to have an underwhelming event tonight, which is what you're going to have. In terms of a winner, usually I get a decent feeling from somebody. I don't know. I really don't. James Wood's intriguing, but I feel like he'd be tired. I feel like James Wood could have the most in the first round, but then flame out the rest of the event. Like just kind of die in the rest of the event. I think he's one of those guys that's going to give it his all for that first round. And then if he makes it to the second round, just like fall apart. And so maybe you put a little sprinkle on James Wood to have the most home runs in the first round tonight. You almost have to find out what the order is going to be, because the last person who goes last is going to only try and hit the most home runs to get into the next round. So that way he doesn't waste his swings. You almost have to get the order for tonight as well. And I don't know if we've seen the order for tonight yet. But that's way too much breakdown in the home run derby. If you have a bet you want to make tonight, go right ahead. But I just tell you this, it can't be more than a couple dollars. If you're wasting money on tonight, then we have to give you, what is it? The phone number, was it 1-800-GAMBLER? Whatever that is, please don't. It's fine. You can watch the event tonight without having $1 or $2 on it. But yeah, that's the home run derby tonight. We'll obviously recap it. We'll certainly get into it more when Bob joins us for the Mashup Hour coming up at 4 o'clock. But let's take a timeout. Coming up, SEC Media Day, day 1. That means Greg Sankey took to the podium. We'll talk about what he had to say. And also, there is a rumor going around that a very famous college football coach may return to coaching at some point. We'll talk about who said that and who the coach is. We'll take you up until 4, 106.1 ESPN.
Tune into the ESPN Richmond Herman Allen Sports Play of the Day, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer.
U.S. Open PGA leaderboard updates live on 106.1 ESPN, presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Street legal low-speed vehicles. Schedule a test drive today at richmondlsv.com.
Golf season is here. Whether it's your first round of the year or the next round, make sure you're playing it at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. We're offering special pricing this summer on outings for civic organizations, churches, kids' athletic teams, or your own special fundraiser. Also, now is the time to start signing up for your fall golf outings. For more information or to book a tee time, give us a call at 804-749-1900 or visit online at huntinghawkgolf.com.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years how nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. And now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy to the Insurance Doctor location nearest you, and if we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance, because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the Insurance Doctor has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the Insurance Doctor.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Many retailers use a computer program to tell you which mattress to buy after answering a few questions. That's not how finding the right mattress works. At OMF, our associates take the time to understand your specific needs. They'll guide you through our showroom, explain the differences between models, and help you select the right mattress. No computers, no gimmicks, just personal attention and quality mattresses built locally. Visit any showroom and experience the OMF difference for yourself.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, Richmond, this is Joe Simpson. There's only one place in the 804 to stay up to date on all things Atlanta Braves, and that's 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here, taking up until 4. Bob with the Mashup Hour 4 until 5. Then he'll take you home from 5 until 6. Teaser, Wednesday, I'm taping my interview with Phil Steele. So the long-awaited Phil Steele interview will hopefully either happen Wednesday on the show, or we'll split it up and do half Wednesday, half Thursday. But we are scheduled to talk to Phil Steele on Wednesday, and that's always an anticipated episode for college football fans. But his magazine is out, Books A Million and Barnes & Noble. It is a pricey magazine, but it is the only one you need, really. It's the only one you need. It gives you everything you need. And so we'll see what happens. But that's Wednesday coming up on the show. Also, this week, you know what? I'm not even going to tease it because I've done it several times. I'm not going to do it to you. We'll just spring it on you whatever day we decide to do whatever I was going to tell you, which I've now thoroughly confused you all. 327-0888 phone number, text line 804 is the area code. If you want to watch the video, you can see the video on Twitch and YouTube. If you ever wondered what I looked like, or if you ever wondered what any of us ever look like as part of the radio station, you can go there and check us out. You'll see why we decided to do radio instead of television. Just kidding. All right. So day one of the 4-day extravaganza known as SEC Media Day. Like, I think I couldn't even get in the door there. Like, it's just dripping with, like, I think if you kind of looked at some of the tones of media days, like if you went to the Maction Media Day, like, I bet it's all happiness, sunshine, lollipops, people skipping around, maybe like there's just general happiness. Like, I feel like if I went to SEC Media Day, which I believe is down in Atlanta, it would just be like this pushing match. Like, oh, my station's better than yours. Oh, my team's better than yours. We are the best. Like, they just all walk around like all cocky and everything. Like, I feel like there's no actual happiness in the SEC. Like, I'm watching Brian Kelly talking on the screen. He looks miserable, but like, I guess he always kind of looks miserable. But like, nobody seems happy in the SEC land because they all have to put up this facade that they're just better than everybody else. ACC Media Day, I feel like that, some people walk around like that. I feel like Dabo sometimes walks around like that. I'm guessing Florida State used to walk around like that. Now they kind of have to not be like that. Everybody else kind of just shows up at ACC Media Day. They do their stuff and they leave. So Greg Sankey spoke today, the commissioner, and naturally when he speaks, we all have to discuss it. He said several interesting things, I would say. He basically said that he spoke with the Big Ten commissioner, Tony Petitti, 4 out of 5 days last week, and basically agreed that they just have a different view of the college football playoff. If you are not familiar, the Big Ten wants the SEC to go to 9 games. And then they would consider maybe doing the 4-4-2-2, scenario, so on and so forth. While the SEC doesn't want to go to 9 games, they want to stick at 8 games, and then they want to start kind of working into doing SEC Big Ten Challenge type stuff so they can toughen up their schedule a little bit. This is the most intelligent thing and the best thing I think I've heard Greg Sankey say. He said, we have a 12-team playoff format that can stay in 2026 if we don't agree, which is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic that he said that. Now, if that's what he actually means, that's another thing. But the fact that the SEC commissioner, the Darth Vader of college football, said that if we can't figure this out, I'm fine with the 12-team format. Like, hey, hello, raise my hand here. I'm also okay with the 12-team format. I am also okay with not adding 4 more playoff teams just for the hell of it. I'm okay with that. And so I think that is the opening that gives us the opportunity and the chance to stick with 12 next year. Because remember, we're heading towards a December 1st deadline. December 1st, they have to decide on a format. And I'm guessing if they don't decide on a format December 2nd, that means we are just going to go back to the 12-team format. Sankey said, quote, we don't need anonymity. Yeah, that word. Ultimately, if there isn't, there's a level of authority granted to the Big Ten and the SEC together. It's not like you just show up and pound your fist and something happens. I hope that type of narrative can be reduced. Well, That's the narrative that's out there, and it will never be reduced because you and Tony Petitti think that you rule college football. And while you probably do in terms of having the most playoff teams, you don't have to you could take into account what everybody else says. You don't have to be like, well, we don't even, we're the only ones that matter. I think that's the issue that's out there. Like Greg Sankey doesn't care about anybody else. And to some extent, that is his job. His job is to care only about the SEC. His job is to basically say, I don't know, it's like 14 teams in the SEC, 16, whatever it is. My job is to take care of these 14 or 16 teams. I don't care about anybody else. He just takes it like 7 levels too far. He just takes it 7 levels too far and would rather not even care about the Big Ten for the most part. So I did find it interesting. He had a brief moment of self-awareness, but then he also realizes, like, yeah, I don't really care about anybody else. He also went on to talk about, and I think the talking point that the SEC is going to put forth during these next 4 days, and you're going to hear it a lot, especially from the playoff level teams, is strength of schedule. They want to make sure that when they have the committee members meeting in that room, that strength of schedule is the most important thing. They want to make sure that everybody knows that the SEC's conference schedule is the toughest in college football, that the games they play outside of those games are also the toughest in college football. So they want to make sure that the committee, when they're in that room and they see an 8-4 SEC team, well, that 8-4 SEC team played really tough squads. Here's my thing, though, and this has always been my problem with strength of schedule. This was my problem with Penn State last year, not just because I dislike Penn State, but Penn State in their schedule, and I'm pulling it up now, Penn State football last year, and you could even go to some extent and say this is Indiana's problem too. When you're a team that makes the playoffs, if you can't beat the good opponents on your schedule, you don't belong, because the playoffs are all tough teams. So when I look at last year and I see Penn State lost to Ohio State and I see Penn State lost to Oregon and I see the only other ranked win they had last year was Illinois, like, to me, and of course they were going to make it. So I know this is not going to matter. And I know that they made the conference championship game. I know that. But if you can't beat the best teams on your schedule, why should I put you in the playoffs where everybody's going to be like those teams? Now, here's the kicker. Penn State made it to the playoff. Their first game was against SMU. Weaker opponent, ranked opponent, weaker opponent. Their second game was against Boise State. Ranked opponent, weaker opponent. Then they went and they played Notre Dame. It was a very good game, very close game, but they lost. And so you look at the top 3 teams that Penn State played last year on their schedule, they lost to all 3 of them. So you're telling me that a 8-4, 9-3 SEC team who lost to the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Floridas, stuff like that, like, you're telling me they belong? To me, that makes no sense. They didn't beat the good opponents on their roster. Same thing with Indiana. Like, this is why Indiana shouldn't have made it. Indiana lost to Ohio State. Indiana lost at Ohio State in their only tough game during the regular season last year. Their only one. So why would I put them in the playoffs when they couldn't beat the only good opponent they played? And now you're telling me that we're heading towards 16 teams and we're going to put more of those opponents in. Like, it's just, you can't cry strength of schedule, but then when your team loses to all the good opponents, like, you can't just say, well, it doesn't matter because we got a really tough conference. He wants everybody to know that the 8 games they play are tougher than the 9 that other teams play, which, look, that's on the commissioners of these conferences. It's on the commissioner of the Big Ten to make sure that Penn State's playing Michigan, Ohio State, and, the best teams every year. It's on. Now, granted, look, nobody saw Indiana last year starting out as well as they did. So, and they still had Michigan and Ohio State. Now, it wasn't their fault that Michigan was terrible, but, like, Indiana's non-conference schedule last year was FIU, Western Illinois, UCLA, and Charlotte. That's essentially a month preseason to get better. So I get it. I hear that. Strength of schedule should matter a little bit, But let's also remember that the strength of schedule, if you can't beat the better teams in your conference, it should not matter. It should not matter. And of course, that's, Greg Sankey's talking point is, well, our 8 games are really tough. And it makes sense. If you let's pull up Georgia's schedule from last year. Because I told you that Penn State played 2 tough teams and lost to them. Well, Georgia last year, Georgia beat Clemson in a neutral site. They won at Texas when they were number 1. They beat Tennessee at home. They beat Texas in the championship game again. And their only 2 losses were at Alabama by 7 and at Ole Miss 28-10. But I believe that was the game that Carson Beck got hurt in. Maybe not. So strength of schedule 100% goes in the favor of the SEC. I would think that's actually going to hurt the Big Ten, the Big 12, the ACC a whole lot more. But that is going to be the talking point that we hear every single day from every single playoff-worthy head coach. Every single one. So today it was Lane Kiffin. It was Brian Kelly. Clark Lee's not really going to talk about that. Shane Beamer probably said it. Tomorrow it'll be Kirby Smart. It'll be Hugh Freeze. It'll be Josh Heupel. It'll be Steve Sarkisian. They'll sit there. They'll have their different words and things like that, but they will make sure to hammer home the point that their schedule is the toughest, and that should give them more teams than they probably deserve. And the SEC gave out a packet that basically talked about how their regular season schedule is so much more tougher than everybody else. That's just where it is. We need the right committee to figure out and say, your 3 losses were against the only 3 good teams in your schedule. You shouldn't get in. But that's never the case. Let's be honest here. The playoffs are based a lot off of money. Which programs are going to make the NCAA the most money? Which matchups are going to make the most money? Which home games are going to make the most money? That stuff's all kind of where we're at. Let's be completely honest. It's not completely made up, but if you come down to 2 teams and for 1 playoff spot, and you could put in a team with a better pedigree and a better set of fans and a better this and a better that, they'll get in over the team that matters more. Case in point, you look at Florida State not making the playoffs a couple years ago. Now, granted, all the injuries didn't help, but even so, they still belonged in the playoff. We're not relitigating that. We're not bringing that back up again because I still think Florida State got screwed because Florida State would have had a month to prepare with their new quarterback. They would have had a month to prepare. None of that stuff mattered last year when Gunnar Stockton was starting. None of that stuff mattered in the postseason. None of it mattered. Now, granted, it happened. The injury happened at the end of the season, and of course, Georgia was going to make it anyway. But we didn't sit here and say, well, we shouldn't put Georgia in because they're starting their backup quarterback. No, nobody said that. And then Georgia beat Texas in the SEC championship game and then fell to Notre Dame because they couldn't score with their backup quarterback. But it didn't really matter because it was Georgia and it was the SEC. So that's day 1. The other juicy thing coming out of SEC Media Day, Greg McElroy, who I guess does a show, McElroy and Kubelik, in the morning, he is saying, I guess technically reporting, that he heard someone predict Nick Saban will return to coaching at some point. He cited a, quote, very much in the know person, end quote, who thinks Saban would get back to the sidelines. McElroy brought the idea up in an interview with Paul Feinbaum. McElroy pointed out it was someone notable who told them they think Saban isn't necessarily done coaching. In fact, he said the person was adamant. They seem to think Nick Saban's not done coaching. I had a similar reaction. He's pretty adamant that he thinks Nick Saban will coach again. Look, if it wasn't someone notable, I wouldn't say a word. Feinbaum responded with a resounding no when McElroy asked if he bought the speculation. They both said he seems to enjoy being in the media and doesn't seem like he wants to come back to coaching. It's pretty crazy if true. And I think, look, I don't think Tony Bennett's ever coming back. I certainly don't think Jay Wright's coming back. I think a lot of the guys say that they want a year off, but after that year off and when they realize that their life is so much better and they're not stressed out all the time and everything, then they kind of continue that time off. I really don't think, and I'm going to look up to see what Nick Saban's age is. I can't imagine Nick Saban's coming back. He's 73 years old. Do I really think that Nick Saban at the age of 73 is going to go back into coaching? And where's he going to go? Is he going to go for a higher profile program? Who's going to be available? Lane Kiffin agrees. He thinks Nick Saban's going to coach again, but 73 is really, all right. I was about to say something. I don't really want to say what I was about to say. 73 is older in the coaching position. How about that? 73 in a position where you have to constantly be recruiting everybody every day, where you have to be doing something where the calendar gives you essentially no let up. You have the transfer portals and high school recruiting and spring practice and August practice, and the season gets longer. As a 73-year-old, I feel like he's just not going to come back. He's just not going to be interested. So I will go against one Greg McElroy and say, I'm pretty sure Nick Saban's not going to coach again. I feel like this is one of those professions that you kind of have to be all in. And if you're not all in, then, you're going to be bad at it. That's why I think Trent Dilfer is going to be bad at it. That's why I think Doug Gottlieb is going to be bad at college basketball coaching, because he still wants to do his radio show. He has practice and then he heads and does his radio show. Like, that's terrible. And by the way, Green Bay was terrible last year, and they'll probably be terrible once again. 327-0888, that is the phone number. That is the text line. 804 is the area code. So that's your snooty SEC report of the day. Let's take a timeout. Coming up, there's a quarterback list out that is very hard for me to argue with, but I'll still try. We'll tell you who NFL executives, front office members, and scouts think are the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. We'll do that next. 106.1 ESPN.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
Tune into the ESPN Richmond Herman Allen Sports Play of the Day, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer.
All right, Takis fans, Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
U.S. Open PGA leaderboard updates live on 106.1 ESPN, presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Street legal low-speed vehicles. Schedule a test drive today at richmondlsv.com.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years how nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. And now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you, and if we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the insurance doctor has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the insurance doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the insurance doctor.
Howdy, Richmond sports fans. Do you need a show that's live, local, and all about you? That's where we fits the bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, bringing you the latest sports news, bold takes, and local coverage that matters every weekday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Richmond with Fits the Bill. Because Richmond sports deserve Richmond voices.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here. Taking up until 4, Mashup Hour 4 to 5, Sports Huddle 5 until 6. Before we get to the NFL, there is one other thing that Greg Sankey said today, which seems somewhat noteworthy, especially as Ross Dellinger puts it. Greg Sankey says his president suggested during spring meetings that the 4 power conferences form a committee to explore the P4's role in the future of college athletics. The committee would include 2 presidents from each league and the commissioners. I mean, this is what we've kind of head towards. This is what we're heading towards. Now, I've always said I thought it would just be the SEC and the Big Ten splitting off, but if it's the Power 4 splitting off, it's coming. It really is. Now, there's several questions to this. A, if it's just the 4 of them, do they just play each other and then like the group of 5 kind of separates and all this stuff? And B, is this just for football? Or is this for every sport? Do the Power 4, because remember, the Power 4 conferences in basketball, different, I mean, they are the same, but different success levels as they are in football. And if it's, it's something. But I've been telling everybody for a while, it's coming. The split is coming. And the interesting thing will be the Power 4 becomes the FBS. The FCS changes in scope, becomes the group of 5 and whatever current FCS teams want to move up. And then I'm guessing there's a 3rd level or heck, maybe even a 4th level. Who knows? But I'm guessing that when this split occurs, and notice I said when and not if, when this split occurs, I think that will be the opening for the Dakotas to move up, for the Montanas to move up, for others to move up. And then the FCS, the rest of the FCS, who knows what happens after that. But it's coming. I'm telling you it's coming. Oh, by the way, the other last thing real quick on college. So it was made official today. Louisiana Tech is joining the Sun Belt. I have never seen. Now, look, I'm a JMU fan. I watch a lot of the Sun Belt. I'd like to see ODU do well too. Stuff like that. So like I'm a fan, but I'm not a diehard fan. And if you looked at some of the reaction to Louisiana Tech joining the Sun Belt, it's insane. There was a guy who I quote tweeted on my Twitter account at MidMajorMatt, Jag Nation radio show, which I'm guessing is the South Alabama radio show. Some sort of South Alabama radio show, whatever. They quote tweeted Pete Thamel saying, doing the tweet about the vote, and said, this is one of those moves where we'll look back in the future wondering how the Sun Belt crumbled, and this is the beginning of adding Louisiana, and this is the beginning if you're adding Louisiana Tech. Nothing against them, great CUSA program, terrible fit for the Sun Belt. Here's my thing. I don't understand how anybody could be a terrible fit when they're in the footprint. The reason why the Sun Belt has been successful, other than on the field, is everybody's in the footprint. Everybody is. I don't understand why everybody has these strong reactions to Louisiana Tech. I said all along, I don't think Louisiana Tech was the right answer. I think you either wait or you go for Western Kentucky. But Western Kentucky left the Sun Belt the first time in bad terms. And this is not the end of realignment. This 14 teams that are going to be in the Sun Belt starting 2026, that's not how it's going to be in 2030. Like, The conferences we know and love are not going to be around in 2032. You know? So, like, to say there's just some people who are just like absolutely killing this move. And I get it in terms of their football program's not great. Their basketball program's okay. Sunbelt basketball isn't saved now. But, like, man, some of you are strong against Louisiana Tech. Whereas to me, okay, for 3 or 4 years, we'll deal with it. My guess is you're going to start seeing teams just drop off. Louisiana Monroe probably will drop off to FCS, maybe. They're not very good in anything. So why not drop down a level and go to a place where you're going to probably win a little bit more? Some of the other schools may shuffle around. I'm telling you, the moment Memphis leaves the AAC, if I'm the Sun Belt, I'm pouncing on East Carolina. I'm considering Charlotte. And I'm looking at AAC teams to kind of make them into the Sun Belt. So it's not the best answer. It's not the best answer. It's just not. Louisiana Tech does not add as much on the field, but what they do add is basically you now take a longer road trip to Louisiana in basketball season. You now play all 3 of these teams potentially in Louisiana. But to see some of these reactions, this has always been my problem with sports fans and sometimes sports in general. Everybody has to have this radical, life-altering opinion. Everybody has to have these opinions. It can't be right or wrong. It's extremely right or extremely wrong. And that just doesn't have to be the case. It doesn't have to be the case. 327-0888, phone number, text line 804 is the area code. You don't need a strong reaction. You really don't. It'll be okay. The sun will come out. Football will still be good in the Sun Belt. Heck, maybe we just scheduled another win for ODU and JMU. That's not the bad thing. That's not a bad thing. Maybe we just scheduled more wins for the 2 state schools here. And I know some people probably want Liberty. And Liberty probably would have fit, but Liberty brings baggage. And so when Liberty brings baggage, you can choose not to deal with the baggage, or you could choose to bring them in and make it worth it. The problem is Liberty would probably outspend a lot of the schools in the conference, and so they do not want to have said baggage in there and then have said baggage outspending the rest of the teams in the conference and then just kind of running away with things. Corey asked, could I ever see the likes of Clemson and Florida State leaving the ACC and JMU going to the ACC? I don't know if they're going to want to go to the new ACC. If Clemson and Florida State leave, which, by the way, they are, 2030 or 2031. That's when all the media deals are up. That's when the grant of rights becomes a very manageable, what did I say, $80 million, $75 million, whatever it is. Florida State and Clemson will not be in the ACC in 2033. And so if Florida State and Clemson leave, you know they're not going to be the only ones. Will a Virginia school join them? Will both Virginia schools join them? Will they take a Carolina school with them? And what does the ACC become? JMU may not want to join the ACC if they see what the next iteration of the ACC is. They may say, we're done. Like, we're staying in the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt may, I don't know if the Sun Belt's ever become better than the ACC, but like, where's the ACC going to go when those teams leave? Where are they going to go? Are they going to add Memphis? Memphis is going to have a lot of choices. And I don't think the ACC is going to be one of them that they're going to want to join. So, yeah, Corey, I could see JMU joining the ACC, but like, I don't know if that's going to be great anymore. I don't know if that will be a conference you want to join. If they join in on this P4 league and they start their own thing, like, okay, maybe. But they're going to have to meet certain requirements, because I'm guessing if they start this P4 league, they're going to have to put these requirements out there. Like, you're going to have to win a certain amount of this. You're going to have to spend this. You're going to have stadiums that have this in terms of attendance, because they just want to stay to themselves. So I get it, Corey. But I don't know if necessarily you want to leave the ACC or want to leave the Sun Belt for the ACC when the ACC by themselves is going to be pretty down in a couple of years. If I'm Jim Phillips, I am 1,000% now sitting in a war room with all the other people and saying, all right, here's what's going to happen. Clemson, Florida State's going to leave. Let's say they take North Carolina with them. Let's say they take Virginia with them. So we've got 4 spots now. Who are we going to interview? What's our power list? Memphis would be up there for me. It would be Memphis is number 1 because Memphis has a lot of money and a lot of fan bases, and they're pretty good in basketball when Penny Hardaway's not involved, and they're pretty good in football. Then who's after Memphis? Well, after Memphis, I don't know. Could be East Carolina or, maybe. But we'll see. We still have a couple years before that. But I appreciate the question, Corey. All right, let's take our final timeout. We'll spend the last couple minutes on this quarterback list. I had some college football stuff I had to get off my mind. So we'll do some NFL in our final segment. You're listening to 106.1 ESPN.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for anyone out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
Experience fun in a street-legal electric low-speed vehicle from Bintelli. Now available for cruising in your neighborhood from Richmond LSV. Our LSVs come with a Virginia license plate, lithium battery, Bluetooth, and much more. Follow us on social media, Richmond LSV. Schedule a test drive today. Text 804-363-4351 or email info@richmondlsv.com. Fun, fully charged.
Hey, it's Delvin Joyce, JMU Hall of Famer and former New York Giant. And listen, make sure you tune in to Talkin' Dukes every Wednesday on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Go Dukes.
Welcome back to the final segment, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Joseph's here. We'll have a check-in at some point this week, probably Thursday, with SEC Media Day once everything's kind of over. We'll have our guy Connor O'Gara on from Saturdays Down South. And we'll do a whole bunch of stuff. Our Phil Steele interview coming up on Wednesday. All right, NFL. So there is a top 10 list out there. They've been doing top 10s of every position. And this is a list that I could still argue with, but it would be the hardest of all the lists to argue with because it is based off of executives, scouts, and coaches. And so they've been doing all the positions and stuff like that. And basically, they had more than 70 people vote on the position and basically rank their top 10. And so they had 12 players get votes for the top 10. They go. I'll just dive right in. Patrick Mahomes is number 1. Somebody had him as low as 4 on their list. I mean, he didn't play great last year by Patrick Mahomes' standards. Josh Allen's 2. He was ranked as high as 1, as low as 4. Joe Burrow was 3. He was ranked as high as 1, as low as 5. Interesting. Love to know how somebody could have 4 quarterbacks better than Joe Burrow. Lamar Jackson ranked as high as 1, low as 6. So clearly whoever had Joe Burrow 5 had to have Lamar Jackson 6, which I need to know that person's rankings. My gosh. Jaden Daniels is listed as 5. Highest ranking 5, lowest ranking 10. That's really interesting. Who could have him 10? Matt Stafford is 6. Highest ranking 4, lowest ranking. Somebody in this poll did not even rank Matt Stafford in the top 10. Number 7. You can hear the tone in my voice changing. Number 7, Justin Herbert. Highest ranking 3, lowest ranking unranked. Whoever had him unranked, that's not terrible. But who had him 3? So clearly, if you want to figure this out like I am, whoever had Joe Burrow 5, and Lamar Jackson 6, also probably had Justin Herbert 3 and may have had Matt Stafford 4. If that's the case, that person's NFL credentials should be revoked. I'll never understand the Justin Herbert love. Number 8, this is fun. Jared Goff is 8. That's right. Jared Goff. Highest ranking 5, lowest ranking. Yeah, the intelligent ones had him unranked. Number 9, Jalen Hurts. Highest ranking 6, lowest ranking unranked. He's the most fascinating guy to rank of all of them. More than a few voters see shades of a Russell Wilson career arc. Hurts has many traits that contribute to winning at a high level, but needs a steady run game and wouldn't necessarily thrive in a pass-heavy system. Hurts is fascinating. Like, he's the guy that people are very passionate about. Some people think he's really good. Some people don't. And then number 10 is Baker Mayfield. Highest ranking 5, lowest ranking unranked. The other 2 guys who were close, CJ Stroud and Jordan Love. Here's the other thing that's interesting. So there are actually 6 others who got votes. Whoever voted Dak Prescott in the top 10, or Tua, or Brock Purdy, or Kyler Murray, the 6 who also got votes, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, and Bo Nix. They all got top 10 votes. I can't criticize, like, there's no agenda to this list because it's scouts, executives, and coaches. Like, there's no agendas, and I assume you can't vote for your own guy. I assume. I don't know. It doesn't say, like, how you break down the voting. So I don't know necessarily if, like, Andy Reid could put Patrick Mahomes 1 or if Sean Payton could put Bo Nix 1. I don't know. The article doesn't say. But the fact that some executive or some scout or some coach put Dak Prescott in their top 10, kind of ridiculous. Kyler Murray. Like, I could find 15 quarterbacks potentially I'd rather have than Kyler Murray. Bo Nix. Close. But, like, it's his rookie. You know, I need to make sure he's not CJ Stroud part 2, much like I need to make sure Jaden Daniels isn't CJ Stroud part 2. So that's the list. We'll do more of it with Bob coming up next hour. But that is the list there, which is kind of ridiculous. CJ Stroud. Somebody has CJ Stroud in their top 10. I think the more we look at it, the more we realize, like, if you have a franchise quarterback, you're going to be good in this league. But there's not enough teams in this league who have franchise quarterbacks. And that's scary because once some of these older guys retire, we could be in trouble in terms of the future. But that's way down the line. All right, thanks to everybody for listening. We're going to do a lot of the same topics coming up in the Mashup Hour as Bob will join in at 4 o'clock. So stick around through the break, 327-0888. is the phone number and the text line. Join us after the break, 106.1 ESPN.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Tune into the ESPN Richmond Herman Allen Sports Play of the Day, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
This is Greg Truzinski of the Original Mattress Factory. Recently, the owner of a large mattress retailer was proudly sharing how over 65% of their queen mattress prices are $15.99 or higher. At the Original Mattress Factory, our focus is a little bit different. We build superior quality mattresses right here in town and do our best to save you as much money as possible. That's why at OMF, nearly 80% of our queen mattresses are lower than those prices others brag about. Stop in or check out originalmattress.com to learn more.
Look at all the cars, lots of colored cars. Ah, there's a blue one. Isn't it pretty? Whew, look how fast that red one's going. It's red like that stop sign, like my jacket.
This is a 38-year-old man.
My jacket's not a car, is it? Is my jacket a car? My jacket is red, but it doesn't go fast.
He may sound a little strange to you and me. But to his 2-year-old son who's interested in cars and colors, he makes perfect sense.
That's the sound cars make.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. So follow their lead. Take simple everyday moments like eating dinner or just watching cars go by and turn them into learning moments.
Oh, look, red car.
Yes, it's moving awfully fast. Yes, the man in the red car is about to meet the man in the blue car. Get himself a pretty pink ticket.
Turn everyday moments into learning moments. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard. And in 2009, it was me, your fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when one of my embers landed on dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Your home for the Atlanta Braves. Catch every pitch and homer. W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV HD2 Richmond. Braves baseball lives on 106.1 ESPN.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports 49ers wideout Jawan Jennings wants a new contract by the start of training camp next week, or he'll ask for a trade. Jennings is in the last year of his deal, which calls for him to make $7.5 million this season. NFL coaches, scouts, and execs voting on the top 10 players at each position. Today on ESPN, the quarterback rankings. Patrick Mahomes is number one, but ESPN's Damian Woody has other ideas.
I'm talking about strictly just playing the position from the neck up
think Joe Burrow is the best. I do. I think he
more than Mahomes.
Yes, from the neck up. As far as how you're supposed to play the quarterback position, I would have Joe Burrow.
Damian Woody on Unsportsmanlike. The Home Run Derby tonight in Atlanta. It's on ESPN Radio and TV at 8 Eastern. Former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater suspended as head coach at Miami Northwestern High School for allegedly providing impermissible benefits to his players.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Check this out. Audio level full volume.
What's that now?
Tony in Birmingham. What do you got to say about the top 10 quarterbacks list according to NFL Second?
This is the Mashup Hour of Border to Border and the Sports Huddle with Matt Josephs and Bob Black.
Welcome in on a Monday, 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs, Bob Black here as we embark upon one of the slowest weeks of the sports calendar, Bob. But of course, the SEC is there to provide us with 4 days of content down in Atlanta. How are you today, Bob?
Just riveting television there on the SEC network. Like you, I have had it on the studio monitor for the last, half hour or so, peeking at it every once in a while. Really, really riveting television. And other than that, Matt, you know me, I'm already having baseball withdrawals. No real baseball until Friday. That's 4 straight days with no baseball. What am I going to do?
Well, we got the Home Run Derby tonight. We got the All-Star Game tomorrow. 2 intriguing events for those who are interested in it. And, that's what you're going to have to do.
As a Phillies fan, I'm disappointed and underwhelmed, although I certainly get it. Number one, obviously no Philly in the Home Run Derby tonight, although I'll be a big James Wood fan. More on him in a moment because the Nationals have done something that I think was very clever in regards to James Wood in the Home Run Derby. Intrigued to watch Cal Raleigh with his 38 home runs, and most of the country probably doesn't even still know who he is because he plays in the obscurity of the Great Northwest. I don't mean that in a demeaning fashion by any stretch of the imagination, because they are coming off a 3-game sweep of the Detroit Tigers to get to the All-Star break, and he has 38 home runs as a switch-hitting catcher. But all of that aside, Matt, I mean, there's no Kyle Schwarber, and I get that. I understand why he didn't want to do it this year, and I think he does it next year one way or the other. The All-Star Game next year is in Philadelphia, part of the 250th birthday celebration of our country. And so he wants to do it at Citizens Bank Park, I believe, whether he is still in Philly red pinstripes or in another team's uniform. I think he would come back, and that would make a great storyline. So, I like the Home Run Derby. I'll watch it, but I wish I had a little bit more of a rooting interest, although I'll certainly be rooting for James Wood. And then tomorrow night, only Schwarber as a Philly. I'm a little disappointed in that. And again, I get it. Zach Wheeler wants to be healthy for the stretch drive. I don't blame him. Ranger Suarez wants to be healthy for the stretch drive. I don't blame him. Christopher Sanchez pitched yesterday. Thank goodness he got the Phillies a win on an otherwise disastrous road trip to San Francisco and San Diego. So I'll enjoy the All-Star Game tomorrow night and the Home Run Derby tonight, but I'll be ready for real games to resume on Friday.
Well, you could just watch highlights of the previous ones then if you want. Pick one out, pick out a favorite game of yours this season and watch and rewatch it on Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to do that either. A little bit of a respite from baseball and sports in general isn't really the worst thing in the world, particularly this time of year. As you alluded to, media days are underway for college football. I know you and Jack are prepping for your big trip to Charlotte next week, so that'll be a little bit more exciting, and away we'll go with college football. And as we mentioned late last week, Matt, some of the NFL camps are underway with rookies having reported, Hall of Fame game teams have reported, and by the end of next week, I think at least rookies will have reported across the NFL.
Yes, Chargers rookies over the weekend. That was something to say the least. And it's nice for the timeline to start having some football practices and just some different things than what I'm used to.
So let me go back to this James Wood thing before I forget, and we move on to other topics. So it's really cool that James Wood is in the home run derby, obviously still in his infancy in Major League Baseball, 24 homers. I think he's hit either the longest or one of the longest of anybody this season at 451 feet that he did not once but twice, has 24 home runs, obviously up and coming, only 22 years old. I've talked over and over again about the local connection with his dad, who played Hall of Famer basketball at the University of Richmond. But here's what the Nationals have done. If you want to go see an upcoming Nats game, you really should root for James Wood. They have a home run derby special offer. The further James Wood advances, the more you can save on tickets. So already they're going to give you 40% off for him being in it. If he makes the semifinals, you get 50% off tickets. If he makes the finals, you get 60% off tickets. And if he wins the whole shooting match, you get 70% off of tickets. And it's for games against the Phillies, the Mets, the Pirates, or the Braves. Not bad. I was actually looking ahead at maybe going up to a Phillies-Nats game when Philadelphia comes to Washington in a few weeks. So I will really be rooting for James Wood so that I could get a discount on my tickets. I think that's a great promotional offer by the Washington Nationals in an otherwise forgettable season for the Nationals.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I've seen something like that before based off of some other places. I mean, they know he's not going to go very far, so they know they can do something like that without having it cost too much. And the benefit of if he does go that far, then you have more ticket sales is kind of the icing on the cake.
And I do think it's interesting because I think for at least three of those teams, they're going to get pretty good ticket sales anyway, right? I mean, Philly fans will be there. I think Met fans will be there. If the Braves were having a better year, you'd get more Braves fans there as well. And if Paul Skeens pitches for the Pirates, how about if James Wood, wins this thing and you get 70% off tickets to see the Pirates at the Nationals when Paul Skeens pitches for Pittsburgh? I think it's for every game. I haven't dived into the fine print of this yet, but I do like the offer. I love the way they're promoting that. Obviously, this has been a forgettable year for them. General manager change, managerial change, all of that. So you got to do something, and you might as well put the young face of your franchise out there for everybody to see, which is what they're doing with James Wood. And I'll also add this, Matt, I think they want to do a lot more with James Wood. The problem is he is so stoic. He does not say a whole lot. He does not show a whole lot of emotion. They're going to work with him on that, but I do think they want to be able to promote and market him as the face of their franchise.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not hard there's not a lot else to promote as the face of your franchise. I mean, maybe it's Mackenzie Gore or there's not a lot of players that right now you would drive people to the ballpark to see for Washington.
I did find it interesting that they took a shortstop with the first pick in the draft. Now, he's a high school shortstop, so it may take him a couple of years to get to the bigs, although as we were talking with Mark Zuckerman last week from the Nats Chat podcast on MASNsports.com, guys who are drafted in this day and age make it to the big leagues a lot faster than they used to. Now, high school guys, I do think it's going to take a little bit longer, but you got C.J. Abrams, very young, up-and-coming, all-star shortstop, not this year, but he was last year for the Nationals at that position, and yet the Nats still took shortstop, high school shortstop, switch-hitting shortstop with that number one pick. Shortstop was a big-time position in the Major League Baseball draft that was yesterday and today. But I did find it interesting that the Nats went that route. And Matt, they actually went against the guy that Mark Zuckerman thought they would take. He did think they'd take a shortstop. They thought it'd be the Holiday kid as the number one pick. And the Nats kind of surprised everybody by taking Eli Willits.
Yeah, I think it was a stupid play. I mean, I think they should have gone for Cade Anderson. I mean, you can never have enough pitching. And if there was any sort of concern over him signing, he's already signed with the Seattle Mariners. And he signed for below his slot.
I guess they feel like they can sign Willits for less money and they'll have more money available for other guys and other signings. But I'm with you. I was a little bit surprised they did that. I would have gone with Cade Anderson or even Liam Doyle, another left-hander from Tennessee who still went top 5. We all know that, left-handed pitching is at a premium, whether it's this era, previous era, whenever. That's going to be at a premium, and they seem to have pretty good crop of everyday youngsters, many of whom they got in the Juan Soto trade that have now come to fruition and are playing for the Nats. So, yeah, I think I was surprised on two fronts. One, that they did go for the shortstop, and two, that they didn't take Ethan Holiday, who seemed to be the bigger name shortstop than Eli Willits. But, Willits, switch hitter, obviously high up on everybody's draft board. But, yes, I was surprised they took him as well.
The draft is continuing, and I don't know what round it is. It's round 750, but it's one of those drafts that if you ever tune in, it's just basically the guy said the moderator says the number, and then the team says a player, and then they just keep going and going and going, and it seems like it never ends.
Even I don't really watch the Major League Baseball draft once we get past the first round. And again, as we had this conversation last week, part of the problem with the Major League Baseball draft is that it does take so many years for these guys to get to the major leagues. It's not like the NBA or the NFL drafts where you're going to see them in a few short months playing in the NBA or in the NFL. So I certainly get that. Now, having said that, and we do have, recent history to prove it, guys are getting to the big leagues really quickly out of the draft, particularly the college guys, particularly, if you're playing at LSU or Tennessee or Oregon State or any of those schools, you're getting to the big leagues pretty quickly because you're already playing a high level of, minor league baseball at that point.
327-0888, that is the phone number. That is the text line. 804 is the area code. So we talked about the field for tonight. Is there anything they can do to get better players into the home run derby, or is this just like the slam dunk and we're just going to have lesser players just do this for the most part?
Yeah, I think it's the latter on that one. I mean, I get it. Not only is it the player's decision, but if you're the Dodgers or you're the Yankees, do you really want Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge participating in this tonight? And who knows what could possibly happen. There's a risk-reward factor there, and you would hope someday, somewhere, before too long, while they're still in their prime, one or both of them might take a shot at it. But if I'm the Yankees and I'm the Dodgers, I get it. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you take however many swings it's going to be in that short a period of time and potentially do it like 3 times in the span of an hour and a half, that can be a little bit taxing. So I do understand that. I wish we had somewhat better players. Baseball people can get excited about some of them that are in it this year, particularly Cal Raleigh. Switch hitting catcher with 38 home runs the first half of the season. We already talked about, James Wood, and the rest of them are kind of more up and coming power hitting youngsters than they are established veteran sluggers.
I get it. It's a very taxing event. And then if you believe in the whole, messing up your swing afterwards, which I think professionals like, Bobby Abreu messed it up, and like maybe, 1 or 2 other people who aren't home run hitters. But like for the most part, I feel like you're not going to mess your swing up. But that's at least the narrative out there.
It is. But I agree with you. I think professional Major League Baseball hitters should be able to make that adjustment. And they have, 2-3 hitting coaches who will help get them back to where they were. So I don't find that one as big a deal as I do. They just don't want, the taxation on their body and going through that whole process, that sort of thing. And obviously there's a little disappointment in Atlanta, although it's okay. Not having Ronald Acuna in the home run derby, that is a disappointment. He was excited to do it. I give him credit for that after coming back from the injury, but he's had the back spasms or back tightness of late. He's played through it and played pretty well, and he's going to play in the All-Star game, so I give him credit for that. But I certainly get him not being in the home run derby. That's a lot of swings in quick fashion for a guy, with some back problems. So Matt Olson is not a terrible replacement for Atlanta. And you got to remember, he's a relatively local guy, Matt Olson, from that neck of the woods. The hometown guy with the Braves. So that's okay. But Acuna would have been a much bigger headline in Atlanta going into the Derby.
Yeah, I guess. I just, it's Acuna would have been a whole lot better. And I know you're going to have a home person, so that way everybody can root for the home person. Matt Olson doesn't necessarily do it for me. And if he's not ready to, or if he wasn't ready and had, he was a late addition, that may not be good for him either.
Yeah, I'd consider him a power hitter. So what's he got? 17 this year, 17 homers this year. So, he's a legit option. But again, it's disappointing. That's why I say I'm a little bit underwhelmed by what I'm going to watch tonight and tomorrow night, which I was hoping not to be able to be really excited. I had no ill-conceived notion that it was going to be Ohtani or Judge or Schwarber or anybody like that. But, I would have liked Acuna to still be in it. Olsen, okay replacement. He is from the Atlanta area, the hometown guy. So we'll see how it goes tonight. It's something to watch. I'm not going to sit here and say it's must-see TV. Likewise with the All-Star game, it'll be entertaining. It'll be fun to watch Paul Skeens, to watch Tarek Skubal. Then you'll get those matchups, Ohtani, Judge, all of that at least once through, if not twice. So, it's nice entertainment for the next couple of nights, and then we move on.
327-0888 phone number, text line 804 is the area code. We move on as we take a timeout. We'll get into what came out of SEC Media Day today. We'll get into some NFL stuff as you heard, where training camps are beginning across the nation, and some other stuff as well as we take you up until 5 o'clock for the Mashup Hour, 106.1 ESPN.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Summertime in RVA means Richmond Kickers soccer games at City Stadium. Family fun, food trucks, and men's soccer action on the field. Tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN, streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and 424 for well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off your first full prepaid bill of 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Experience fun in a street-legal electric low-speed vehicle from Bintelli. Now available for cruising in your neighborhood from Richmond LSV. Our LSVs come with a Virginia license plate, lithium battery, Bluetooth, and much more. Follow us on social media, Richmond LSV. Schedule a test drive today. Text 804-363-4351 or email info@richmondlsv.com. Fun, fully charged.
Bold opinions, hot brews, and well-done food takes. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fits the Bill. Join us and be part of the conversation every weekday morning from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN Richmond. Let's get into it.
Bob and Matt back with you, Mashup Hour. Border to Border, Sports Huddle, 106.1 ESPN for a Monday afternoon, start of a new week. And wow, another full week for us. And by us, I mean me, because it is another 5-day week to include another trip to Colonial Downs on Friday, where Matt and I were this past Friday, to kick off this season of our coverage down there. Great afternoon and evening out at Colonial Downs. Huge crowd. I don't know how much of that crowd was enticed by those exotic animal races that garnered a lot of attention from what I saw on the local TV news and in the newspaper with the camel, ostrich, and zebra races, in addition to the 9-race card at Colonial Downs. A big crowd. We can do a little name dropping. We saw several familiar people in the crowd on Friday at Colonial Downs, so we're looking forward to seeing you out there this Friday. We're back out there again. Matt with Border to Border at 3. We team up in the 4 o'clock hour, and I've got the Sports Huddle in the 5 o'clock hour. And Matt, one of the guys that we saw out there Friday was Mike London, the head football coach at William and Mary. And I guess I can mention this. There's nothing wrong with it, that's for sure. And he stopped by our broadcast tent, and we had a nice on-air interview, impromptu interview with Coach London. It's up on our website at espnrichmond.com if you missed it. And he texted me back this morning and said, hey, great to see you. And by the way, my wife won $89 at Colonial Downs on Friday evening.
Well done.
That was pretty cool, right?
Well done. I mean, that's sometimes you just need to get lucky and get lucky with the right exacta or trifecta.
As he said, he's not much into the horse racing, although he said he had a great time, and he didn't do any of the betting, but she did, and she liked it. So it was an afternoon out before college football starts, and I texted him back, and I said, that's a nice afternoon's winning. It's not going to get you into retirement. You're going to be on the sideline coaching William and Mary, but that's a pretty good afternoon out there at Colonial Downs, and you and I say that all the time. Come on out. They have those 4, I think it's 4, Matt, premium Fridays where there is a small general admission fee, $5, I think, and they normally have some type of promotion going on, band, the exotic animals, something. The other Fridays are just like the rest of the race card, and there is no admission for general admission, no admission charge. So you could literally net all of your winnings when you come out there. So anyway, we'll be back out there on Friday. And again, it was great to see Coach London out there, and we're glad he came on the air with us for a few minutes as well. He'll have an opportunity with his media day coming up here next week. I believe the CAA is virtual, so everybody won't be getting together for that one, but they will hold a virtual media day, as will the Patriot League. You mentioned, you and Jack, or I mentioned that you'll be at ACC in Charlotte next week, and the SEC media days are beginning and continuing today with the commissioner, with Greg Sankey, and then the first grouping of teams. I just happened to glance up there, Matt, and Clark Lee had just finished up with Vanderbilt, and I'm kind of scrolling through some of his comments on USA Today's kind of live feed of what's going on, and I love the way they position this because everybody's undefeated today, and everybody thinks they're going to be in the college football playoff. And here's Clark Lee, the head coach of Vanderbilt. His quote was, "We believe that we have what it takes to play in January," end quote. To which whoever wrote it quoted him by saying, Lee said on July 14th, which I thought was a perfect way to frame that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best part of all sports, Bob. Before you actually get underway and before you actually play, you are 0-0. And why not think that you have a shot to win a championship?
Well, they did beat Alabama last year. Vanderbilt did, but I think that might have been lightning in a bottle. I'm not sure they can continue.
They also beat Virginia Tech, so.
They did. Oh, South Carolina was up today, right? Shane Beamer?
Yeah.
Right? Game 1 with Virginia Tech, right? That's a highlight game for that opening weekend for Shane Beamer to be coaching against, where his dad was the head coach for all those years.
Yeah. And, going up against the place that he probably should have gotten an offer for. Yeah. Who knows? I mean, that's, this game's going to mean a lot to him for so many different directions.
So let me ask you a hypothetical here. Let's say he has another good year at South Carolina. They were good last year. I think they're 9-4, something like that. I think South Carolina.
Yeah.
So let's say he has another good year, and I'm not saying this is going to happen or I even want it to happen. Let's say Brent Pry does not have a very good year, and Virginia Tech decides it wants to make a change. Would Shane Beamer at that point even be interested in coming back to Virginia Tech, or has he already surpassed Virginia Tech as the head coach in the SEC at South Carolina? And even with that connection of him basically growing up in Blacksburg and his dad being a Hall of Fame coach there, would it entice him to take that job?
No. I think the SEC just surpasses everything, and I think even if they get wind of something like that, they will add another zero to his bank account, especially if he has another good year. I mean, South Carolina football was not where they have been now for a while, so I don't think they'll be letting Shane Beamer go very easily. Now, if he wants to turn down a lot of money and come to Blacksburg, great, but I think that South Carolina will do their best not to let him leave.
I'm also guessing that, they bypassed him this time, right? I mean, he wasn't in the position he's in now. What was that, 3 years ago, I guess, when Brent Pry was hired at Virginia Tech? I mean, I think Shane Beamer has elevated his stature, status, and resume in the past 3 seasons, but he did get bypassed last time around, whether that was his doing or Whit Babcock's doing or whomever. He did not get the job when it was open 3 years ago. I don't know. I just kind of thought about it. Knew that Shane Beamer was up on the podium earlier today. They were coming off a good year. We know this is a crossroads year in both Charlottesville and Blacksburg, and now's the time of the year to throw out all these kind of crazy ideas.
I mean, unless he gets really nostalgic over that first week and the preparation and talking about Virginia Tech, I can't do it. I can't see it happening.
No, I agree with you. I just thought I'd throw it out there, and you just wonder because there's a little more to it than just a coaching job in the ACC. It's obviously more than that to Shane Beamer to if it were to be Virginia Tech, if that were to happen at all. And I'm not saying it's going to, not that I want it to, none of that, but I think we have pretty well documented and talked. It's a crossroads year for both the Hokies and the Cavaliers. Speaking of crazy thoughts to throw out there, I heard you mention this, and I was just reading it through my timeline here on the USA Today at SEC Media Days. I think you and I both agree on this. There's no way in the world Nick Saban's coming back to coaching.
No, I can't see it. I just can't see him wanting to come back to coach. No. I feel like, he's going to enjoy being in the media, and then he's going to enjoy just playing golf and just kind of relaxing and being another member of society.
You know what else I think he likes? And by the way, I think he's very good at what he's doing as an analyst. I think he's fit in very well. And as you would expect him to, I'm not trying to put surprise in my voice here because I think he's good at whatever he does, but he's fit into that kind of TV culture as well with those guys on the set and being able to be a TV personality, but also a guy who's as good at X's and O's and describing strategy as anybody out there. I think the other thing that Saban likes that he has the opportunity to do here is to talk to all these other coaches, to go to other schools and see their practices, and not because he's gearing up for a return and he's trying to gain information. Nobody has more information than he does anyway, but I think he actually enjoys being that neutral guy who's welcome at South Carolina's practice or Auburn's practice, that kind of thing. I think he really enjoys that, and I don't think he's going back to coaching either.
No, I don't think so. I think he's a guy that enjoys his life the way it is, and I think he just, I can't see if he was even 10 years younger, 73 to get back into coaching. Who's to say that it's not until his year 74? That's just. Yeah. We're seeing guys that age leave because they can't handle it.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. And I agree with that. I think if he was 10 years younger and college athletics had a little bit more of a grip on what they're doing and how they're doing it, then I think he'd take another shot at it. But I think the combination of his age and the fact that college football and college athletics still doesn't have it figured out and there's still a mess out there, I don't think he wants to be a part of any of that.
No. And I don't think, and look, with all the realignment and stuff happening, I can't see any of that stuff that's going to, no, I think it's just Greg McElroy putting his name out there and getting associated with stuff and all that sort of thing.
Yep. I'm with you on that one. So anything else out of today's SEC Media Days that hit you?
Well, I mean, it's just, this is the strength of schedule week where we will hear from everybody who has any sort of chance to make the playoffs, how the strength of schedule has to matter more, and how the SEC's 8 conference games is tougher than the Big Ten's 9 conference games and stuff like that. So I feel like that's going to be the talking point that everybody's going to use, including Greg Sankey.
So what's your number there? Do you think 9 should be the conference games, or do you think 8 is okay, or do you think it just depends on the conference?
I think it depends on the conference. I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to have a set number. I think especially if let's be honest, the SEC then, if they go to 9, they're going to have to get rid of their beloved FCS games, and they're going to have to, they're going to have to start playing all FBS opponents. And we know they don't want to do that.
I think 9 leaves a little bit of room to still do that, to give you 3 non-conference games. I think you could still play, a lesser opponent or 2, and then a rivalry game if it's not already in your conference. But the wiggle room is less, obviously, than if you play 8. It's just a matter of which 8 or which 9 are you playing, particularly in these mega conferences that have 18 teams in them or 16 teams in them. Another conference game, depending on the conference, might not be the worst thing for them to potentially do. But I'm with you. It depends on the conference. I kind of like the 9 idea, to be honest with you, although I'm probably talking out of both sides of my mouth there, because I do want these FBS teams to have ample opportunity, to ring up an FCS team and say, hey, here's $400,000, come play us. I hope those games continue moving forward.
I also thought it was interesting that he said that he has talked to Tony Batiti a lot and that they do not agree, and that he's okay if they stay at 12 for next season. He has no problem with staying with the 12-team format for next season.
Then let's just stay at 12 and put all this behind us, because to me, that would be a fine outcome to this thing. To me, I know you'd like a little bit less than that, but if they could do it at 12 and hold steady at 12, and we wouldn't have this conversation every summer, I'm all in.
I mean, it just makes too much sense. I don't need to add 3 and 4 loss teams to the playoffs. I just don't. I mean, this is a 12-game schedule, so you lose a third of your games and you're still potentially a playoff team. Like, that's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, you would hope not. I mean, now you're getting closer to the pro model. Not so much football necessarily, although we do get 500 team from time to time, but the NBA and Major League Baseball model, I just don't want all those teams in there. I agree. I think 12 is fine. I don't think you'll have any teams with that multitude of losses if we limit it to 12, but I certainly wouldn't want any more than that. So if we can all agree on 12, let's do it and put it to bed.
All right, we have a little bit of breaking news here on the show. And this loosely affects the Commanders. According to Adam Schefter, I'm guessing among others, Jets and wide receiver Garrett Wilson have reached an agreement on a 4-year, $130 million contract extension that includes $90 million guaranteed. It marks the first time in NFL history that a wide receiver had received an average of over $31 million after playing only 3 seasons. He's now under contract through 2030.
Do you think the Commanders were going to go after him when his contract expired?
Oh, well, no, I'm just saying this is now a benchmark for Terry McLaurin to now surpass. And so he's getting $32.5 million. That makes him now the 5th highest paid wide receiver in football. But, you have to think that Terry McLaurin sees this and now wants to get more money potentially from the Commanders.
Again, I go back to the years. If the Commanders could find a way to lock him down for 4 years like Garrett Wilson got, I think they better open up the bank and do that. I don't know if they're going to be able to, but if they get him on a 3-year deal, that would give him 4 because of this year to be included in that. But yeah, I guess you're right on the money. The benchmark just was raised considerable amount. So it probably behooves McLaurin to have waited this long. And now we'll get down to brass tacks over the next week or so before he's supposed to be in Ashburn, right? It's only about a week until he's got to be there.
Yeah. So Jamar Chase is at 40.25 per year. Justin Jefferson's at 35 per year. CeeDee Lamb's at 34. DK Metcalf 33. And then Garrett Wilson's at 32.5 before AJ Brown is at 32. So that's your top 6 in the NFL on a per year basis.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got a week. Rookies report on the 18th to Ashburn and the full squad on July 22nd. So this is the time now where that thing needs to get done. And this may have affected that. You're absolutely right.
By the way, don't forget, Terry McLaurin and Garrett Wilson, I believe, were teammates in college. I believe they were both wide receivers at Ohio State. So the 2 of them were probably talking the whole time like, hey, we want to go and figure out our deal. And do you want to go first and all this stuff? So I just, this is why waiting is such a bad thing at times, because if you wait, then somebody else goes in front of you. And now maybe the Commanders had a certain number in mind and now they have to pass Garrett Wilson, because I got to think that Garrett Wilson is not as good as Terry McLaurin.
Well, Terry McLaurin and his agent are certainly going to think they've got to pass him. I don't know if the Commanders are going to think that, but they've got to be in the ballpark. There's no doubt about that, and probably a little bit ahead of him. You're right.
By the way, Adam Schefter said Garrett Wilson is one of 5 players in NFL history to record 1,000 receiving yards and 80 receptions in each of his first 3 seasons. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham, and Michael Thomas, the other 4 to do that.
So he's better than Terry McLaurin by those numbers.
By the numbers, I guess so. And by the way, remember, if you can name all the quarterbacks that the Jets have had the past couple of years, and remember, Aaron Rodgers was just 1 year. The other year was, everybody was the quarterback 2 years ago, and Aaron Rodgers got hurt 4 plays in the season. So Garrett Wilson has a lot of Terry McLaurin in him, in that both of them have played with a lot of garbage quarterbacks and put up numbers.
And this is probably the Commanders' point when they get down to the brass tacks of these negotiations, and that comparison comes up, is that, he's been doing it with, multitude of quarterbacks. And at least in the near term, you would think in Washington, there's only one guy throwing the football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, the other number, I like this number, Bob, the $90 million guaranteed. Like that's where I think the Commanders can bridge the gap if they go a little bit more guaranteed, a little bit less years.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm a years guy first, and kind of go from there. But you make sense. I'm going to trust you on that one.
327-0888 phone number, text line 804 is the area code. So that is the breaking news in the NFL, which directly affects the Commanders. Let's stick in the NFL, Bob. There is a list that I think we both can at least respect who's voting on it. Maybe not necessarily the results, but ESPN put out a top 10 list of executives, coaches, and scouts, their top 10 quarterbacks. We'll talk about that next. 106.1 ESPN.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, plus the leading technology from Lennox. Now that's a perfect duo. Together, this duo will make sure that your home is comfortable season after season. They're offering up to $1,500 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credit. Call Herman Allen at 804-746-5853 or HermanAllenPlumbing.com to learn more.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Serving Richmond and beyond for over 20 years, Bonaire Shell features a full line of automotive services. Check out BonaireShell.com, loaded with coupons, specials, and more to see all that they can do for your car and your peace of mind. And now with their Fuel Rewards program, you can save at least 5 cents per gallon on every fill-up. Learn more at FuelRewards.com. Go see the team at Bonaire Shell, 8762 West Huguenot Road. Go to BonaireShell.com or call them at 272-3232. That's 272-3232.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcomes Paisley with Walker Hayes and Laney Gardner, Thursday, July 17th. Tickets on sale now. Jason Isbell in the 400 unit with Garrison Stars, Saturday, July 19th. Tickets are on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on espnrichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
The early reviews are in for Richmond's only local morning sports talk show.
Hey, Fitz, man, you're doing a great job. First, I want to give you a shout out to that. You and Alan are doing a great job, man.
Join the convo and start your day with Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick every weekday.
Listen, guys, I love your show. I really do appreciate it. Listen to it every morning.
Clock in to Fitz the Bill every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Welcome back. 106.1 ESPN. Matt Josephs, Bob Black here for the Mashup Hour. 327-0888. That is the phone number, and the text line, 804 is the area code. And Bob, I know you're not the largest fan of lists, but I feel like when you have executives, scouts, and coaches putting a list together, you're at least going to get what we think is a more accurate list than some, writer out there.
Yeah, I would agree with that, particularly when it's in anonymity, and then they can kind of talk freely, assuming they trust that anonymity moving forward. So yeah, I mean, I've glanced through it since you send me the text warning, so I have taken a look at it.
Yeah, so what ESPN's been doing, and they've done it now, it says like for 6 or 7 years, is they've basically sent out surveys. They have more than 70 voters who are basically executives, coaches, and scouts, and they find out who the top 10 of all the positions are. And they've done running backs, defensive tackles, edge rushers, safeties. They've done a ton of them, and there's still a couple more left. But today was the quarterbacks, Bob. Before we kind of break it down, was there anything that kind of surprised you of how the list kind of laid out?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I felt pretty much in concurrence with the top 4. I'd probably deviate after that, but I did think the top 4 were pretty good. I was a little surprised at number 5, and we'll get to that. Not because he didn't have a great year, because he did, but he just hadn't done it enough in my mind to put him in that hierarchy at this point, although I certainly get the reasoning why he's there. But I do agree with the top 4. How about you?
Yeah, the top 4 is clearly the best. They are clearly very much far ahead of number 5. Like, they're just overwhelming the number 4. Now, you can rank the 4 differently depending upon what you put stock in and what you kind of go off of. But there is a clear 4. And so we'll tell everybody that Patrick Mahomes is 1. His highest ranking was 1. His lowest ranking was 4. So somebody, Bob, did not think of as highly as Patrick Mahomes as everybody else.
But still had him in that top 4 that you talked about, that you could kind of group them together. And I don't want to say pull them out of the hat, because I think 4 for Mahomes is ridiculous. Somebody's got like a personal vendetta against him there, or just want to make a name for himself or something like that. But I think Mahomes is clearly the number 1 in my opinion.
Then number 2 is Josh Allen. He was ranked 1 by somebody, and as low as 4. So he also got the short end on somebody's poll.
I could see that. I could see him being a number 1. But by the same token, I could see him being a number 4 for somebody, more so than I could see Mahomes being a number 4. But yeah, so 2 is fine with me to follow right behind Mahomes.
Yeah, see, Josh Allen had a really good year last year. Obviously, he was the MVP. It's just 2 years ago. He was a turnover machine, and it wasn't great. And he's struggled a little bit in the playoffs at times. But, I mean, look, as we said, these top 4 are kind of, you can throw them in a hat almost and kind of rank them however you want.
Yep, and I think that's what's happened along the way here. Again, I don't know that I would have gone that low with either one of them, but certainly not with Mahomes.
Number 3 is Joe Burrow. His highest ranking was 1. His lowest ranking was 5, which I would love to know then who was in number 4 on that list.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have kept him in the top 4 without a doubt. So I don't know, what the justification behind that would have potentially been.
So this is interesting. I did not know this stat. Last season, Joe Burrow became the first player in NFL history with 250 passing yards and 3 touchdowns in 8 straight games.
Wow. That's pretty impressive, right? What was it? 250 yards and 3 touchdown passes?
Yes, in 8 straight games.
8 straight games. Yeah. That's top 4 material to me.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, certainly not number 5, which then means
I don't think so.
Lamar's number 4. His highest ranking is 1, and his lowest ranking is 6. So, Bob, I'm assuming that whoever had Burrow 5 put Lamar Jackson 6, which I would love to know then who 3 and 4 or 1 and 2, and like who were the 2 that were missing there?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy as well. I might have jumped Lamar over Burrow probably until you gave me that last stat. Now I feel like it's probably justified to be in the order that it's in.
Well, this is a stat that's in his blurb. He became the first player in NFL history last year with 40 passing touchdowns and 4 or fewer interceptions in a season.
That's pretty strong too, because every coach will tell you, turnovers, limit them on offense, get them on defense. So probably if I was really diving into that, I probably would have put Lamar Jackson at 3 and Burrow at 4. But again, fairly interchangeable, but certainly not as low as 5 or 6.
Right. That's for sure. And then number 5, as you mentioned, is Jaden Daniels. His highest ranking was the 5 and his lowest ranking was 10th.
Yeah, I'd have had him somewhere below 5. And again, he obviously did tremendous things, revitalized the whole team, revitalized the franchise, let alone a team in that case. Numbers were great. But I'm just not ready to just do it off of one year, although I guess that's all we're really looking at here. But I would not have him as high as 5.
Yeah, as the quote that a coordinator had for this part of it, single-handedly took one of the worst franchises to the NFC title game as a rookie with a bad defense, 1 legitimate wide receiver, a dinosaur at tight end, and an average at best offensive line.
Yeah, I can't argue with too much of that. Now, the dinosaur at tight end was our guy, Zach Ertz, and just because you're old doesn't mean you're not good. And I do think he was good. The rest of it, I think, is pretty accurate. Bad defense, 1 legit wide receiver, average offensive line. So, I think he's up there. He's certainly in the top 10 and probably even a little higher than that. But I would not have put him at number 5.
Number 6, Matt Stafford. His highest ranking was 4. His lowest was he was unranked in the top 10 by somebody.
I think that's okay. I'd have had him between 6 and 10, somewhere in there. So I'm okay with that.
Last year, he had the 3rd highest QBR in the NFL on play action. His 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions off play action marked the best performance since Aaron Rodgers in 2021.
Yeah, again, good numbers. And obviously has been good for a long time. And, the whole Rams thing, all of that. I'm okay with him in the top 10. Again, not in the top 5.
Number 7, Justin Herbert, highest ranking 3, which I'm guessing is the person who had 5 and 6 for Burrow and Lamar. His lowest ranking was also unranked.
I'm not sure if I were to do a quick ranking, I'd have him in my top 10 at all. If I did, he would be closer to 10 than to where was he? 7?
Yes.
Yeah, I to me, that's a little bit high for him. I don't think I would have had him there.
His 21,093 career passing yards are the most in NFL history through 5 seasons. But, of course, before last year, he was in a very pass-happy system. So, of course, he was going to throw for a lot.
Yes, he was. Absolutely. Again, I don't know how you feel, but I don't think I'd have had him up there.
I can't have him. He has 0 playoff wins. So I can't.
Yeah, there you go.
He has not played well in the playoffs. He's 0-2 in 2 playoff games. That to me is very important.
Guess that's why we don't see your guy Kirk Cousins on this list.
Yeah, he was one of the few guys who didn't get a vote, apparently.
Yeah.
Number 8, Jared Goff, highest ranking 5, lowest ranking unranked.
See, I think that's a lightning rod one there. I would like to include Jared Goff in this thing, and I think he probably does belong in the top 10 and maybe even right where he is at 8. I've always liked him, have seen some inconsistency out of him, even in his time with the Lions, even though they have a great offense. But I would have him in the top 10.
I I
No?
don't know. I think
Okay.
a lot of it's his system. I mean, playing for Ben Johnson in that system.
Yeah.
If he has a great year this year, then I will change my opinion. But I think a lot of that was the system he was put in.
Yeah, hence my phrase lightning rod. I think you could either, be adamantly in favor of him somewhere up there, or to your point, the inconsistency and some of the other numbers, perhaps he's not in the conversation with the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. But I would have him up there at least for the time being, and see what happens now that he has a new coordinator in Detroit.
And then since we're running out of time, number 9 was Jalen Hurts and number 10 was Baker Mayfield.
So I like both of them. I'd have both of them higher. Now, some of this is my Eagles biased, but he did win a Super Bowl. He played very well in the Super Bowl. He led them, to a Super Bowl championship. I'm bumping him up. And again, some of this is just, my Eagle biased here, but I'm a big guy on winning. And I know, the wins and losses for quarterbacks, not all that important necessarily, because so much else is involved with it in other positions. But he'd be higher, significantly higher, Matt, than number 9 to me.
I think Jalen Hurts is the lightning rod in terms of how much does supporting cast help somebody, and how much do you attribute to him, and how much do you attribute to Saquon Barkley, the best offensive line, a great wide receiving core. I think he did a lot in certain games and it didn't work out. He did a lot in other games and it did work out. That's why somebody compared him to Russell Wilson, and that somewhat makes sense.
Well, I wouldn't have him in the top 4, obviously. As I said, I wouldn't move the top 4, but I would move number 5. So if I was really being a little bit biased, I'd move him up that high, but maybe not. And the same with Baker Mayfield. I really like him. I think he's done a really good job with Tampa Bay.
He leads all quarterbacks in completion percentage against the blitz and passing touchdowns against 5 or more pass rushers. So that's very important.
And again, my Eagle bias is going to play in there as well, because over the years he has just shredded Philadelphia when he's been with Tampa Bay. So I would move Hurts and Mayfield up in that poll.
All right, let's take a timeout. We'll wrap things up after this. 106.1 ESPN.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Experience fun in a street-legal electric low-speed vehicle from Bintelli. Now available for cruising in your neighborhood from Richmond LSV. Our LSVs come with a Virginia license plate, lithium battery, Bluetooth, and much more. Follow us on social media, Richmond LSV. Schedule a test drive today. Text 804-363-4351 or email info@richmondlsv.com. Fun, fully charged.
Why listen to those national shows that don't talk about Richmond when you can tune in to Fits the Bill? We're live, local, and all about RVA sports. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, bringing you bold takes, big stories, and the coverage that matters to you. Join me every weekday from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN Richmond, because no one covers sports in Richmond like we do.
We got about 30 seconds, Bob. So that'll wrap things up here for the show today. But looking forward to the home run derby tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
You got it. More baseball talk coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, plus Jordan with the motorsports update and our Herman Allen play of the week, and hopefully some phone calls and interaction with you out there. 5 o'clock hour of the Sports Huddle, Matt, coming up here after the Sports Center update.
Sounds good. Stick around through the break.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has expert technicians plus industry-leading Lennox equipment. To learn more, visit HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
It's bow time. Sure, you've had a sausage biscuit before, but have you had the smoked sausage biscuit from Bojangles? Well, now is your chance. Juicy, slow-cooked smoked sausage is grilled to perfection and served on a fluffy, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. No one does breakfast like Bojangles, and this smoked sausage biscuit doesn't disappoint. Right now, you can get 2 for just $5. Start your day with this flavor-packed deal while it lasts. It's bow time.
Oh, you are round MVP.
Yeah, man. Yo, Drew, I finally got round MVP. Round MVP.
No way. That was some ownage. It's a good thing you got me as your wingman.
Right. You mean when you threw that flash grenade at me?
Whatever, man. Huge round. Seriously, great stuff.
Finally earning round MVP takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes.
All right, class. I'm going to pass back your tests. And the high score goes to Brian.
Oh, yeah. High score, baby.
We're all good at something. Maybe it's breakdancing or skateboarding or video games. Whatever you're good at, you have the skills to make it happen. And those same skills will help you get to college. Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. It's kind of like an elephant is on my chest. I feel like I'm choking. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor, because even one attack is one too many.
I feel like a fish with no water.
Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Your exclusive home for the NBA all season long. Footside action on W291CL Lakeside Richmond and WURV HD2 Richmond.
This is Sports Center. I'm Doug Brown with breaking news from ESPN's Adam Schefter. The Jets will sign wideout Garrett Wilson to a 4-year, $130 million contract extension that includes $90 million guaranteed. Wilson will be under contract through 2030. Adam also reports 49ers wideout Jawan Jennings wants a new contract by the start of training camp next week, or else he'll ask for a trade. Jennings is in the final year of his deal. He's scheduled to make $7.5 million this season. The start of the college football season is just weeks away. Quarterback Garrett Nussmeier puts off the NFL to stay with the LSU Tigers, hoping to deliver a national title for Coach Brian Kelly.
I fully, am fully behind Coach Kelly. I wanted to be the guy there with him when he gets it done. So I think that played a big part into it. I couldn't picture anybody else leading the Tigers to the national championship. So that was kind of the thing. It had to be me, and that was kind of something.
Garrett Nussmeier, baseball's home run derby tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and TV.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Tuesday, our friend Paul Feinbaum said Arch Manning has the potential to be the best quarterback in college football since Tim Tebow. But has the hype gone too far? We'll talk about it on Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth, this is the Sports Huddle with Bob Black on 106.1 ESPN. We're also streaming live at espnrichmond.com and on the iHeartRadio app. Call in and talk with Bob anytime at 327-0888. Now, here's Bob Black with the Sports Huddle on 106.1 ESPN.
Start of a new week, and you've made it through Monday. If you're a 9 to 5er or 8 to 5er or 8:30 to 5er, as long as your day ends at 5 o'clock, you have made it through Monday. It was another sun-splashed, sun-drenched, sun-baked day for the most part in the capital city, with temperatures back up into the 90s. Man, if you got hit with any of those thunderstorms over the weekend, hope everything is okay. I know we had a decent amount of flooding in our area. I was pretty fortunate. Didn't really feel much of the impact of it at all, just a little bit driving around on Saturday. But beyond that, kind of stayed out of the eye of the storm this weekend, and hope you did as well. So thank you for getting your week started with us. Sports Huddle, welcome to or welcome back. Hope you've been with us the past couple of hours with Matt on Border to Border at 3 o'clock and the two of us in our Mashup Hour, Border to Border in the Sports Huddle at 4, and now the Sports Huddle exclusively here at 5 o'clock. Jordan producing this afternoon, 804-327-0888 if you'd like to get on the air with us. It's also our text line, 327-0888. And traditionally, this is the slowest sports week of the year, although it's already picking up some speed and some momentum. Not a whole lot of games to be played. I know there's NBA Summer League and there's the WNBA. And, of course, we have the two exhibitions coming up tonight and tomorrow night in Major League Baseball, with the Home Run Derby tonight, which you will hear here on 106.1 ESPN, or you can watch on ESPN tonight as well. Get into that a little bit. And then the All-Star game coming up from Atlanta tomorrow night. National American League with Paul Skeens on the mound for the National League. Tarek Skubal to start for the American League. So I will start with some baseball as we have reached the ceremonial halfway point of the season. Obviously, all teams have played more than the 81 games that constitutes halfway through the season. And I was looking at the standings today, and I admit it, I was, because my team found a way to get back into first place in the National League East. As I have mentioned several times with Dolphin Dave and with Roger, who are our two resident Mets fans, I think this is going to go back and forth the rest of the summer between Philadelphia and New York in the NL East, and that will make for an entertaining, interesting last 2.5 months of the season if you're a Phillies or a Mets fan. Not so much so if you're a Braves fan. They just never were able to climb back into this thing. The injuries have just come at a ridiculous pace for Atlanta. Austin Riley, the most recent to go on the IL, to go along with all those pitchers that have been injured for Atlanta. It's just been a tough deal. A lot of us thought they would still be in the conversation in the East. It doesn't appear as though that's going to happen, and doesn't appear as if they're even going to be in the wild card. Now, I might be eating my words in another couple of months. That would surprise me, but not shock me. They're 9.5 out of a wild card spot and 12.5 out of first place, and have been spinning their wheels. I mean, they go limping into the All-Star break with another one-run loss yesterday to the Cardinals, lost 7 of their last 10. I felt like my team went limping into the All-Star break as well. The Phillies, albeit into first place, because somehow, some way they salvaged a win at San Diego yesterday. I'm really impressed by the Padres. I was going to mention my most pleasant surprises in Major League Baseball coming up here in a moment. I don't think you put the Padres in the surprise category anymore because they've been to the postseason. But if you don't watch a lot of West Coast baseball, check out the Padres. They play a really good brand of baseball, very aggressive. They've got really good players. I don't know if they'll catch the Dodgers in the West or not, but I really like the way San Diego plays, and I think they will be a tough out. They got a really good bullpen. I think they've got 3 relievers that wound up on the All-Star team. So San Diego will be a really tough out in the National League and in the postseason in general. Otherwise, as I mentioned, I watch a lot of Phillies games, and I felt like they really limped to the All-Star break finish line and really, really need that break. Now, it's never easy to go on a West Coast trip, particularly when the All-Star break is staring you in the face and you got 4 days off, but you just got to find a way. And they lost 4 out of 6, dropped 2 out of 3 in San Francisco, 2 out of 3 in San Diego, and yet somehow, because the Royals beat the Mets on a walk-off yesterday, managed to inch into first place at the break. So they do have that going for them. Philadelphia at 55-41, and the Mets at 55-42. And as I said, I just think it's going to be back and forth between those two teams the rest of the way. I would say my most surprising teams in baseball through the first half both come from the American League. I knew the Tigers were going to be good. Wasn't so sure they'd be this good, although they went limping into the All-Star break as well with a 4-game losing streak, and the Seattle Mariners swept them in Detroit this weekend. And yeah, Cal Raleigh was a big part of that with a 2-homer game, a grand slam, 38 homers for Seattle at the break. And he will be in the home run derby tonight. But anyway, Detroit, 21 games over 500 and an 11.5 game lead in the Central. That's one of my more pleasant surprises if you're a Detroit Tiger fan. And the other one's also in the American League, and that's the Toronto Blue Jays. I think they had a lot of heat on them to win from a managerial and coaching staff perspective, and they have overtaken the New York Yankees. They're playing pretty good ball, although they dropped the last 2 games before the break. But they're 55-41, 2-game lead on the Yankees and 3 on the overachieving Boston Red Sox, who, since they traded Rafael Devers, have just gone on a tear. They're going into the All-Star break having won 10 in a row. So kudos to what the Red Sox have done, and they're in the thick of this thing. And right now, they're a wild card team. 3 teams out of the AL East: Toronto, Yankees, Red Sox, all postseason teams at the moment. And Tampa Bay has hit the skids, having lost 4 in a row and 8 out of 10. But they're still only a game and a half out of a wild card and 5.5 back. So that is a crowded, jumbled American League East. That will be entertaining to watch the rest of the way with the Blue Jays. I don't know how many people in Matt Joseph's world of gambling and sports betting would have had money on the Blue Jays to be in first place in the American League East at the All-Star break. I don't know too many people that would have had them on their bingo card to be in first place at the All-Star break. And yet there is Toronto, 14 games over 500. And I mentioned Seattle with that weekend sweep in Detroit. I still follow our guy, Mark Davis, former, not the NBA official, Mark Davis, the former Channel 12 sports director, sports anchor, is now doing the same deal down in Norfolk. And he's a huge Seattle Mariner fan. And when they went into Detroit, if you read his Twitter, he was all dismayed. He was like, oh, here comes a 3-game sweep. We're going to be mired in mediocrity again. We're going to be back to the 500 mark, and we're never going to get out of this. And yet maybe that was the reverse jinx that he needed, because the Mariners pulled off the weekend sweep. They're currently a wild card team, and they're 5 games back of Houston in the American League West. So you just never know what's going to happen in baseball. And in the National League West, you got the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants all fighting it out. The Dodgers hit that skid, but maybe they've righted the ship. They've won their last couple of games. I don't know if you saw Shohei Ohtani over the weekend. I almost put this together as our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week, and then I thought better of it, although it is baseball themed. But Ohtani went 3 innings in his last start, so they're stretching him out even more. Gave up only 1 hit, and he struck out the side in order in the first inning against the Giants. And the Dodgers needed it because they have been scuffling, particularly offensively. They went on to win that game. Of course, he wouldn't get the win because they only went 3. But they have now stretched him out to 3 innings. And I think after the All-Star break, you're going to see it more than that, where he's going to get a chance to actually get some wins because they're going to let him go 5 innings. And the Dodgers certainly need him. They've been, tattered with injuries, particularly their pitching staff as well. So, yeah, Ohtani went 3 over the weekend, struck out the side in order in the first, got the Dodgers a much-needed win, and they go into the break with a 5.5-game lead on the Padres and 6 on the Giants. All right, so that's kind of my surprises and kind of overview of Major League Baseball at the halfway point. If you have any thoughts, would love to hear them. 804-327-0888. Also, our text line. Never really even talked about the O's or the Nationals. We got 2 last-place teams in the Beltway. Baltimore at least won 6 of its last 10 to get to the break, but lost the last 2 games before we got to the break, and they're in last place. I don't see much hope for them coming out of that, particularly not in that division with the Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, and Rays. And then the Nationals, who obviously made the general managerial change and the managerial change, 20 games under 500. They're out of it as well. 17 back, 14 out of a wild card. Have lost 4 in a row going into the All-Star break. Going to kind of be a long second half of the season for Washington. You just got to watch the prospects and hope they're getting their feet wet and get ready for next season and try and figure out who the manager is going to be, because we had Mark Zuckerman on last week from the Nats Chat podcast, heard here on 106.1 ESPN on Sundays, and Masson and MassonSports.com. And, he said it's not going to be Miguel Cairo. The whole staff, handpicked by Davey Martinez, they're going to clean house. They're all going to be gone at the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see what the Nationals do in terms of their manager moving forward. And you wonder a little bit with the change of the general manager, the direction they went in the Major League Baseball draft that surprised so many, with them going with the high school infielder for their first pick in the draft, which surprised a lot of people. If they were going to go with a high school infielder, it was likely going to be Ethan Holiday out of Stillwater High School in Oklahoma, but they went for the switch hitting shortstop Eli Willits, also out of Oklahoma, out of Fort Cobb, Oklahoma, and I think that surprised a lot of people. Same with the second pick. The Angels took Tyler Bremner from UC Santa Barbara. And then Kate Anderson, who many people thought would be the number 1 left-handed pitcher from LSU, who pitched them to a College World Series championship. He was the number 3 pick. Then Ethan Holiday, aforementioned, went to the Rockies, where his dad was an all-star when he came up. Of course, he's got a brother with the Orioles, Jackson Holiday as well. And then Liam Doyle, left-handed pitcher from Tennessee, rounded out the top 5. But again, my point on the Nationals, again, they went with youth. They have a seemingly all-star shortstop for some years to come in C.J. Abrams, and you wonder if the change in general managers changed their philosophy and where they went in the draft with that number 1 pick. All right, 804-327-0888. I know that's a ton. That's a lot of baseball to get us started. We don't have to touch on baseball much the rest of the way. Give you a couple of quick thoughts after we get to Reggie and the break on the Home Run Derby tonight, just for the fun of it. As I said with Matt last hour, fun to watch. Won't call it must-see TV. It's not part of your homework assignment. If you don't want to watch it tonight, you can casually watch it, enjoy it, and move on, as we are kind of in that lull week of sports activity before we really ramp it up with the second half of the baseball season. The NFL camp's opening. College camps will open at the end of the month. and we'll be rolling into football season. Just like we're rolling into Reggie at 5:15 already on the Sports Huddle. Hello, Reggie. Hope you had a good weekend.
You know, Titletown, Bob, I told you the Orioles, just like the Wizards, were going to fall like the Hindenburg. But no, Bob tells me, the Orioles going to do good this year, Reg. Don't you remember that conversation, Bob?
Sure, Reggie. That? I'm sure we had that conversation in February or something, didn't we?
Yeah, and I tried to tell you, just like the Hindenburg, they're on the 30th year of their 40-year rebuilding plan.
Now, wait a minute.
Frank Robinson and the boys are not coming through that door no time soon.
Reggie, they've had back-to-back good years. Why would you have been down on them in February before they'd ever lost a game? They've been to the postseason. They haven't found out a way to win in the postseason, but at least they've been there. Did you really think this was going to happen to them this year? And if so, why?
Yes, because once again, they cannot stand prosperity.
Okay.
Every time when this team, the last couple of years, from when they did a fire sale about 4 or 5 years ago, and the main man who used to work for your radio station who reported in told you about the fire sale. They had the big fire sale, brought all this young talent in, and for 1 year, they did good, then flamed out in the playoffs, didn't even win a game. Don't get me started, Bob. And I mean, come on now. But the main reason I called Bob, Paul Feinberg, he's just killing me.
What do you do now?
he said that a certain Manning that's going to be the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns is going to be the next Heisman Trophy winner. Bob, help me. He didn't play that much this year, did he not? He couldn't even be like the starting quarterback. Did I miss something, Bob? Come on.
I mean,
help a brother out.
Yeah, I don't. It's way too early for me to even be thinking about the Heisman Trophy. And he's just a big name guy because of his last name and obviously the family lineage. I think he'll be in the running and a conversation, but I wouldn't go out on that limb either, Reg. Neither one of us are doing that. I'm with you. Yeah, but old Paul's doing his job there, Reggie. He's got you fired up. Old Paul's doing his job.
Well, look, Tim Tebow, in my opinion, is nowhere near the best college player ever. Would you put Tim Tebow in front of some guy? I think Barry Sanders.
No, of course not. Of course not.
What about? I haven't heard, Bob. Come on, Bob. Have you not heard certain mouth jockeys say that Tim Tebow is the greatest college player ever?
No.
Have you not heard that before?
Find that soundbite for me, Reggie. Find that sound. There's no way. Come on.
Yeah,
No.
they having people on ESPN that claim that Tebow is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Well,
I
that's
put Cam
hogwash.
Newton in front of him.
That's hogwash, Reggie. We both know
I
that.
mean, Urban Meyer is the best quarterback on the team that won a championship before Tebow got there. Decided to do a little politicking and put Tebow in front of him. Don't get me started. Oh my God!
No, I'm not stirring the pot on that one with you, Reggie. Don't worry. No way.
All right, Titletown.
All right, Reggie. Hope you had a
Is
good
the
weekend.
back hanging in there?
Yeah,
How's
man.
the back, Titletown?
I had a good weekend with the back. Got a lot of walking in. A lot of walking. I'm heading on the walk. As soon as we're done this afternoon, I'm back out pounding the pavement, Reg.
Oh, there he is. Get ready for football season. Yeah.
It's coming. I got to be ready. Got to be ready for football. Got to be ready. Thank you, Reggie.
Just don't pick up no equipment.
That's what I got my partners for. They're going to do all the heavy lifting, which they've been doing for years anyway, but they will definitely do all the heavy lifting. Thank you, Reg. All right, 5:18, Sports Huddle, 106.1 ESPN. Here's where we're headed on a Monday afternoon.
These are this afternoon's top sports stories.
I'm sure he'll be fascinated by all the stories you have to tell.
This is today's Drive Home Headlines.
All right, it's a Monday, so hopefully if you are a regular listener, you know what we do on Monday. At the bottom of the hour, we bring Jordan into the conversation for our motorsports update, another road course race in NASCAR, and another win for a guy who maybe before this season began, we had never really heard about. So Jordan will detail all of that for us, a little bit of Indy racing as well. And there was actually some Formula One news, even though there was no F1 racing this weekend. Probably Jordan sitting in the studio right now going, What is he talking about? I hope I know what he's talking about. We will get to that at the bottom of the hour as well when Jordan joins us for our motorsports coverage brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. And then our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week at about 5:45 or 5:50. And it's all-star break time. So I went baseball for our play of the week. I had a couple of other thoughts. I wanted to go, to be honest with you, I wanted to go tennis and the victories, at Wimbledon. But pulling the audio of a televised tennis match, there's not a whole lot to it other than you hear the ball hit the racket and then the crowd cheering. The announcers are pretty quiet, so it really wasn't great radio. So I didn't go there, but I did go to baseball with kind of a nod to the Home Run Derby coming up tonight, which you will hear here on 106.1 ESPN. We will run down some of that after the break, the contestants and the guys who I'll be rooting for in tonight's Home Run Derby. 804-327-0888. If you'd like to get on the air, we will take your phone calls. Also, your text, same number, 327-0888. Sports Huddle continues after a timeout, 106.1 ESPN.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, plus the leading technology from Lennox. Now that's a perfect duo. Together, this duo will make sure that your home is comfortable season after season. They're offering up to $1,500 in rebates, or qualified buyers make no payments, incur no interest for 60 months when financing a new Lennox system. Plus, receive up to $2,600 in federal tax credit. Call Herman Allen at 804-746-5853 or HermanAllenPlumbing.com to learn more.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Many retailers use a computer program to tell you which mattress to buy after answering a few questions. That's not how finding the right mattress works. At OMF, our associates take the time to understand your specific needs. They'll guide you through our showroom, explain the differences between models, and help you select the right mattress. No computers, no gimmicks, just personal attention and quality mattresses built locally. Visit any showroom and experience the OMF difference for yourself.
This is Joe Simpson with the Atlanta Braves, and when I'm on my road trip to D.C. and Baltimore, I always tune in to 106.1 ESPN Richmond for all my sports news. They've got you covered.
Heading down towards the bottom of the 5 o'clock hour here in just a little bit. Bob Black back with you, Sports Huddle. Monday afternoon, as I mentioned with Matt, full week this week. I'm actually out and about a couple times this week. On Wednesday, we'll be at City Stadium. The Kickers are playing an international friendly on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, and we're going to be out there live from 4 until 6. I'm sure Rob Ukrop will stop by and chat with us for a little bit. We'll be telling you more about that, and hope to see you out there once the gates open. But we will be broadcasting live. I will be broadcasting live from 4 to 6 Wednesday from City Stadium. And then, of course, Matt and I will be at Colonial Downs for our second Friday session of the meet season, on the air from 3 to 6. Matt at 3, and then the two of us at 4, and then I got you at 5, and hope to see you at Colonial Downs. As I said, we did a lot of name dropping last week. Great crowd out there. Parney stopped by. Stephen Hayes, Vice President, General Manager of Channel 6 here in town, was tagging along with Parney. Mike London came by, the head football coach at William & Mary. He actually came on the air with us. Jerry Lindquist, the longtime sports writer and columnist of the Times-Dispatch, was there. He stopped by. So we had a really good crowd, really good time out there. Adjacent to the paddock, right when you come in the general admission gate. Hope to see you out there this Friday. Again, we'll be broadcasting live. All right, I should mention this story because we talked so much about it over the last several weeks, and now that it's come to fruition, it would kind of be silly to ignore it. And even though it was expected, still a story. The Sun Belt Conference, of which James Madison and Old Dominion are members, today officially voted to invite Louisiana Tech to replace Texas State in the Sun Belt Conference. So they'll go back to being a 14 school league. I guess the actual entry date hasn't been determined. I would be shocked if it's not next year. They still have to figure that out, I guess, as Louisiana Tech will leave the Conference USA, just as Old Dominion did a couple of years ago. And there's certainly some sort of exit fee, probably in the neighborhood of $5 million. So, and one of the things that I forgot was that Louisiana Tech, and we talked about Western Kentucky potentially being a replacement, and that Western Kentucky had once been in the Sun Belt, and they exited it, and maybe it didn't go so well. I actually forgot, because I guess I just didn't follow the Sun Belt that closely before our state teams were in it. Louisiana Tech, for a decade or so, was in the Sun Belt before it left to go to the West, to the Western Athletic Conference, and then to Conference USA. So they are actually returning to a conference that they were in, albeit a much different looking conference than it is now. I'll go to the lines here in just a moment, Dave. Hang on. And again, the Sun Belt Commissioner is Keith Gill, former athletic director at the University of Richmond, also former AD at American, former assistant commissioner at the Atlantic 10. So we have a lot of local ties with what Keith Gill is doing at the Sun Belt, and he has done a terrific job revitalizing that conference, particularly in football. They still got a ways to go in basketball, but in football, particularly in their East, they've done a great job. Now, Louisiana Tech has not been great in football, not in sometimes, but I say this all the time. Conferences need some teams that are struggling a little bit, right? The coaches of the top teams are going to look and say, we need to get a win somewhere along the line before we start playing all these top teams in our conference. So there's got to be somebody towards the bottom. And I'm not saying it's absolutely going to be Louisiana Tech, but they have not been particularly great in the last 5 years, probably since COVID. They have not really been all that great. They are a very good baseball and softball school, so that will certainly help them. And their basketball has been pretty good. They've had some 21-win seasons in basketball, but of course, football is the driving factor in all of this. Louisiana Tech, returning to the Sun Belt Conference, replaces Texas State as the 14th team, perhaps as early as next year, although that has not been finalized yet. Pretty much as we thought that was going to play out, particularly as it pertains to Old Dominion and to James Madison, who are both in the Eastern Division. Louisiana Tech for football will replace Texas State in the West. All right, so just wanted to update you on that move today in college athletics. 804-327-0888. To the phone lines we go. Dolphin Dave, how was your weekend other than the walk-off loss by the Mets yesterday?
You know what? Except for that, it's pretty good. We're only half a game behind you guys.
Right.
It'd been nice to be a half a game in front of you guys, but a half a game, either way.
Yep.
You and I both know when I discussed this is going to go ahead. I think it's going to come down to the wire between the Phillies and the Mets in our division.
And I'm okay with that, Dave. I'm okay with that now. If we can eliminate those other three teams from our conversation in the East, which I think we can, I'm okay with it, my friend.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be riveting. I think it's going to be good for baseball. But I want to bring up baseball a second because one of the things that I've been seeing more and more, and I'm not anti this, so I'm just at observation because the differences between let's say hockey and between hockey and basketball and football and baseball is the different ways that people feed into it. I am amazed at how many high school kids get drafted in the MLB. I know they're really good. I mean, they're being scouted. The feeder system for them are, rookie and double A and single A and triple A, and then getting up. And maybe if they've done everything they can do and look good, they might be able to make the major leagues. Or 18 now. They might make it by the time they're 20 or 21. As opposed to a college system where basically you got to go to college. You got to go to college. All right, to be able to go in the NBA. You have the B League for the NBA. I mean the NFL. I apologize. College for the NFL, B League, and college for the NBA. When I looked at the list of the guys that were drafted in MLB, I was really surprised at how many high school kids were the ones that are coming right out of high school, going right into camp and going to start playing baseball and going up the ladder. But it could be 3, 4, 5, 6 years before they get that ladder.
So I'll give you a couple reasons for that. And you kind of detailed one of them, the feeder system, number one, that they can start and cut their teeth and work their way up and be taught and all of that, starting at rookie ball and working their way up. And if it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years, they want them as young as they can get them, right? They don't want them in their late 20s by the time they get to the major leagues. They want them in their young 20s. So that's reason number one. And then reason number two is baseball's criteria that if you go to college, Dave, you're there for 3 years. You can't then leave college.
Now that I didn't.
Yeah. So you have to be
basically
junior eligible 3 years into college. So you either have a choice to go pro as a high school kid, or you're going to be in college, or you're just not going to be able to be drafted until your class would have completed its third year of college. So that's probably the bigger reason that a lot of these high school kids go when they go. And if they have the talent and they're going in the first or second or third round, they're getting pretty good money to do that.
That was my next question, because I was wondering, as a parent, if you had one of them was your son, would you rather have him go to 3 years of school and maybe get 4 years college and have, a pretty good, decent education? But I don't know what kind of money they're making. I do know that once they get to they've got a pretty nice signing bonus. They have some money.
Yep.
But, but then when they're going, they're riding on buses and A-ball and 2A ball for a while, they have a certain amount of money they can spend for food, and it's not always, they're not staying at a five-star resort.
It's a culture shock. It is absolutely from going from, living under the roof of mom and dad and being provided for to being in, rookie ball and low A ball. And you're right, the bus rides. It's a culture shock for those kids. And it is a absolute steep learning curve. I'm one that if my kid was that talented, I'd rather he get 3 years at a big time college, because that's going to simulate professional baseball, right? If you're at one of the top college programs, and then take a shot at. That's a gamble, though. You could get hurt. Lots of things could certainly happen. But those are the two reasons and it depends on the franchise. Like the Nationals. Yeah, the Nationals went all in on young guys in this draft. They took a lot of high school players. I saw where Philadelphia went mostly college guys and college pitchers because they have some experience and they hope to get in the big leagues quicker. It depends kind of on the franchise and on the kid as well. Dave, I got to roll. Yeah. Thanks. Enjoy the home run derby tonight. All-Star game tomorrow. We'll catch up next time. Thank you, Dave. All right, let's get a break in here. 5:33. Motorsports Report with Jordan, brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. Coming up next, Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week. Final thought or two on the home run derby coming up tonight that I hope you'll tune in and watch and just enjoy it for the entertainment value of it from Truist Park in Atlanta tonight. But we will go racing next. Motorsports Racing with Jordan coming up after the break. 106.1 ESPN.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 to 11 every Saturday morning on 106.1 ESPN. presented by The Racing Biz.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying order. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off your virtual prepaid for 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MBA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years how nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. And now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you, and if we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance, because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the Insurance Doctor has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the Insurance Doctor.
The radio's all yours now. You want Richmond sports talk in the morning?
I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fits the Bill, the only local morning sports talk show coming at you weekdays 8 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Richmond.
I don't know what the phrasing is in New Zealand for woodshed, but that's where SVG is taking them today. It's a road course runaway. Shane Van Gisbergen dominates and wins Sonoma.
You are unbelievable, man. Awesome job, boys. Awesome job. What a run we're on.
Shane Van Gisbergen, 36 years old from Auckland, New Zealand. Where did he come from? It's in his first ever Capstone. The door to run Xfinity full-time last year. And just like in his rookie campaign in Xfinity, his rookie year in Cup, he's gone 3 straight on the road, and he's going to burn it down in his first Cup start here in wine country.
I'll toast to that for SVG. Yeah, I'll toast to that in wine country. 106.1 ESPN Richmond's auto racing coverage brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. Visit myinsuranceDoctor.com to get a quote from one of their 8 locations in the Richmond-Chesterfield area. You'll get peace of mind both on and off the track. All right, Jordan, who is this Shane Van Gisbergen guy, and why is he winning all these NASCAR races?
Well, Shane Van Gisbergen is your routine road course ace. He made famous by guys like not Eric Almirola. Wow, the name just slipped my mind. I can't think of the Australian guy. Took a similar path as Shane Van Gisbergen. Started out in Australian supercars, and then eventually made his way to the Cup Series for a few seasons, where he mainly picked up some wins at Watkins Glen and Sonoma. So, we talked about it last week after the Chicago race, SVG. These road course races, the street courses are right in his wheelhouse. Even when he was racing in Australia, the cars down there were very similarly built to the then current generation of Cup car. So there hasn't been too big of an adjustment, I would say, for SVG in terms of getting to know his equipment. Obviously this is now his third year, I guess, racing in the Cup Series, but his first season racing full-time at the Cup Series level. So just to see him have this success, it's well-deserved for a guy like this. I think a lot of people in the garage are starting to understand just where SVG's stature sits in terms of auto racing. Even when he came to Chicago in 2023, very still much unknown to a lot of people other than me and others who followed him in supercars in the mid 2010s. So just a strong performance, another strong performance for SVG. He led 97 laps. He led all but 13 laps in the race. So now in the playoff picture, he's now third, picked up his third win of the season. And so with Watkins Glen coming up in 4 weeks, he has a very good chance of potentially leapfrogging Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson at the top of the playoff table at the end of the regular season. Even with the 3 wins, I was looking at the regular season driver standings. He's not even in the top 25 in the driver standings in the regular season. So I tweeted yesterday after the race that this is going to be a good opportunity for Trackhouse to really dial in his car. He just needs to make the tops. He needs to be top 10 to top 16 come playoff time. The first round, you just need to finish inside the top 16 to really keep your place going. If he can make it to the round of 8 or the round of 12, the second round of the playoffs, the Charlotte Roval, I believe, is the last race in that round. So could very, very much set himself up well to potentially make a nice playoff run for Trackhouse. The in-season challenge continues. We are down to our final 4, where one driver will be awarded $1 million in 2 weeks in Indianapolis. Your final 4, the first semifinal matchup is Ty Dillon against John Hunter Nemechek. This is a 12 versus 32 seed matchup. Ty Dillon, the 32 seed, the very bottom seed,
Cinderella,
upset Denny Hamlin in the first round, beat Brad Keselowski in Chicago, and then he beat Alex Bowman in Sonoma yesterday to make it to the semifinals this weekend in Dover. On the other side of the bracket, it's Tyler Reddick against Ty Gibbs. So two Joe Gibbs affiliated. They're not teammates, but
and it's not going to end in a tie.
Yeah. So when we get to Indianapolis next week, it'll be 2 of those 4 drivers will go head to head for $1 million. So that'll be exciting. IndyCar was in Iowa over the weekend, 2 races. They raced Saturday night. That race was won by Pato O'Ward, and then Alex Palou won the matinee yesterday. IndyCar standings, the win keeps Alex Palou ahead of Pato O'Ward Palou growing his championship lead ahead of O'Ward and Scott Dixon. Kyle Kirkwood slipped back to 4th place after the weekend. The IndyCar series is heading north of the border this weekend. They will be on the streets of Toronto. You can watch that race starting at high noon on Fox on Sunday, and then they will head to Laguna Seca. They'll head to California for the final race of this stretch. That'll be July 27th at 3:00 on Fox, and then they'll have a nice little break before picking things back up. Formula One off this weekend again. They were on a little 3-week break between races, and so they will be in Belgium at Spa next Sunday for the Belgian Grand Prix. It is also a sprint race weekend. You can watch the sprint race Saturday morning at 6:00 a.m. on ESPN2. You can also watch Belgian Grand Prix qualifying at 10:00 on ESPN2. That is next Saturday. And then the Belgian Grand Prix is at 9:00 in the morning on July 27th. And that'll be on ESPN. And I know you teased, Bob, you teased some F1 news. And I don't know if it's the same news that I had heard, but it appears that after the Hungarian Grand Prix in a little more than 3 weeks, the Cadillac Andretti F1 team appears poised to announce Sergio Perez, former Red Bull driver, Sergio Perez, as their first of 2 drivers for their entry into Formula One next season. The rumor is that it'll be announced sometime after Hungary. So keep an eye on that. Other guys rumored to be in the running for the Cadillac Andretti seat include Mercedes reserve driver and former teammate to Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on as well. There are some IndyCar ties. There's some IndyCar guys with ties to potentially either landing in a reserve role or something along those lines. So we'll keep an eye on that.
As usual, you had more detail than me, and you outscooped me anyway. So no, that was not the rumored news that I have. First of all, was the Australian-born NASCAR driver you were thinking of Marcus Ambrose?
Yes.
There you go.
Marcus Ambrose.
Google got that.
There you go.
Oh, I knew. Bob Black knew that. Come on. I did not. I Googled it. And Marcus Ambrose had back-to-back wins at Watkins Glen and was the first Australian-born NASCAR driver to win there.
There you go.
There you go.
So.
And then my F1 news was apparently Formula One telecasts are moving to Apple next season.
Yes.
Outbidding ESPN, right?
Well, that is the rumor. Nothing has been formally announced yet, but as far as I know, ESPN is currently paying F1, I think, $85 million a year for the broadcast rights in the United States. And I believe Apple's offer is well over $100 million per year. So
taking all their earnings from F1, the film, right?
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
an Apple production.
Yes.
Putting it into live racing. There you go. So you think that's going to happen?
It's possible. I'd heard Netflix was also in the mix as well. But yeah, it seems very possible that it could end up on a streaming platform.
We'll keep an eye on that moving forward. All right, a little fun with that, but you had a good scoop there too. So on the same deal there with Formula One racing. All right, Jordan, thanks. 106.1 ESPN's auto racing coverage brought to you by the Insurance Doctor. Visit myinsuranceDoctor.com. Get a quote from one of their 8 Richmond, Chesterfield area locations. You'll have peace of mind on and off the track. Quick break here. Back with our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week to wrap it up for a Monday afternoon on the Sports Huddle.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Golf season is here at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. Plan your next golf outing for your kids' athletic team, church group, or fundraiser online at huntinghawk.com. That's huntinghawk.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for anyone out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This is Greg Trusinski of the Original Mattress Factory. Recently, the owner of a large mattress retailer was proudly sharing how over 65% of their queen mattress prices are $15.99 or higher. At the Original Mattress Factory, our focus is a little bit different. We build superior quality mattresses right here in town and do our best to save you as much money as possible. That's why at OMF, nearly 80% of our queen mattresses are lower than those prices others brag about. Stop in or check out originalmattress.com to learn more.
U.S. Open PGA leaderboard updates live on 106.1 ESPN, presented exclusively by Richmond LSV. Street legal low-speed vehicles. Schedule a test drive today at richmondlsv.com.
Statewide sports, straight talk, and no fluff. Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily dose of hard-hitting Virginia sports debate.
Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week, presented exclusively by Herman Allen Plumbing and Cooling, your premier Lennox dealer. As a nod to the Home Run Derby tonight from Truist Park in Atlanta, we go baseball. The major league leader in home runs is not Aaron Judge, who has 35, or Shohei Ohtani, who has 32. It is Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners, the switch-hitting catcher, who has 38 home runs, one short of Barry Bonds' record for most homers before the All-Star break. He got to 38 with a 2-homer performance that included a grand slam this weekend against the Detroit Tigers. Our Herman Allen Sports Play of the Week.
Raleigh with a fly ball, left field, sending Green back. That ball is gone. He's done it again. Cal Raleigh cannot be stopped. Number 37. Raleigh, deep left field. He's done it again. Are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. It's remarkable. It is the first half, the likes of which we have never seen from a catcher.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to see tonight, but he does have the opportunity tonight. That was on Apple TV, by the way, this past weekend with those 2 home runs. But Cal Raleigh is not only a catcher, but a switch-hitting catcher, and he could actually turn around and bat both right-handed and left-handed in the home run derby tonight. Adley Rutschman did that a couple of years ago from the Baltimore Orioles, so he'd only be the second one to ever do that. And I think the money would be on Cal Raleigh in this home run derby tonight. And it's a little bit of a homecoming for him. He's not from Atlanta or from Georgia. He's actually from North Carolina, but so far south in North Carolina, he's only about 150 miles from Atlanta. So it's a little bit of a homecoming for him tonight as well. He'd have to go in as the favorite. Sentimentally, I'm rooting for James Wood of the Washington Nationals. And as I mentioned with Matt, they got a neat promotion going to the Nationals. The deeper James Wood goes in the home run derby, the deeper the discount on tickets coming up to Nationals games. So root for James Wood to get out of that first round, get to the semifinals or to the final, or win the whole thing. I think you get up to 70% off on Nationals tickets if he wins the home run derby tonight. So kind of rooting for James Wood. But I'll tell you, I think he's going to win it. I'm going to go with Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. Kind of an out of the blue pick there. But I'm going to go with Buxton. He has 21 home runs this season. He's another guy who's relatively local to Atlanta. He's from Baxley, Georgia, a little less than 200 miles maybe from Atlanta. Had some injury issues over the course of his career, but he's been healthy this year. And I'm going to go with Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins to win the home run derby tonight. And if not him, the guy from the Rays, Junior Caminero, he'd be my other choice. So my two kind of long shot choices are Byron Buxton of the Twins and Junior Caminero of the Rays. But I'm kind of rooting for James Wood and Cal Raleigh. So enjoy the home run derby tonight. It's live on the radio here on 106.1 ESPN, obviously on ESPN TV. We'll talk about that tomorrow and much, much more. We all do it all over again tomorrow. Jack gets you started at 8 with Fits the Bill, ESPN programming middle of the day. Matt Josephs with Border to Border at 3. He and I team up Mashup Hour at 4. And the Sports Huddle exclusively at 5. Jordan, thanks. Talk to you tomorrow. 106.1 ESPN.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact